Hey, hello there. Good morning, Adam.
Hi, Shaun. How you doing? Good to see you.
Really good. So, for those of you who don't know this wonderful gentleman, this is Adam Woolcott, multi-gold award winner at Chelsea, and what he doesn't know about plants is not worth knowing.
Yeah, well, I know quite a lot. I mean, there's the thing about gardening, always more to learn, though. That's the good thing about
Absolutely.
it. Always more.
And we have got such a great 3 hours ahead. So, first of all, we've got lots of Black Friday specials. So, loads of ridiculous prices on superb plants. We have got a free gift, and it's a really good one.
It is.
Really good.
Because it's a fantastic blooming fast fertiliser, a liquid fertiliser as well. Always prefer a liquid fertiliser, Shaun, because it gets to work straight away. Doesn't need to dissolve in the ground.
Yeah, very good point.
Brilliant.
And all you do, you literally put a little spoonful in your watering can. One bag of 100 grams will make 100 litres of this premium plant food. And actually, it's good for pretty much everything, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's got all the trace elements. It's not just nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. It's got all those things like boron and zinc and molybdenum and all those little trace elements that we need as human beings and plants need to thrive as well.
And all I'll say is just stockpile those. You've got a really good shelf life on them, and it is free with every order. But you do need to use that off code, which is YGTV4824. Right, what else can we tell you? Also, free postage when you spend over £40. Yeah, so, I mean, there may only be a few plants you want, but think about maybe getting some extra compost. Think about getting some of the pots that we've got on the show. But if you do spend over £40, you'll get free delivery. If you don't, then we will cap your postage at $6.99 per order. Now, also coming up, we've got some amazing deals on houseplants, haven't we? Some really good ones.
And the thing is, houseplants this time of year, Shaun, they really kind of lift your mood, don't they? Because outside, everything's really dying down. You might have some evergreens, but it's just nice to bring nature and plants into the home, isn't it? And also, a lot of them purify the air.
Absolutely.
This time of year, when we're stuck indoors all the time.
So we have got some really affordable houseplants, some lovely collections. We've got a pet-friendly collection as well, if you've got cats and dogs and things like that. And some really stunning varieties. And actually, pretty much all of the houseplants are easy to grow. There's nothing too difficult there. So there's nothing, don't think, oh, I'm no good with houseplants. We've got some really superior ones. In fact, you see the spider plant at the front there with the Epipremnums, those, it's a mix and match. So any two, we've got two different types of Epipremnums, we've got the spider plants, mix and match, any two for under £10 today. And they are super easy to grow. So a really good show, and say loads of Black Friday deals. Now, we'd love you to be part of the show. I am in charge of technology today. Do not worry. Don't look nervous.
I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not worried.
So I am more than capable of reading out your emails and showing your pictures, he says. And if it all goes wrong, it doesn't matter, because Stu's with us and he'll sort anything out. But you can email the point shed, ygtv@yougarden.com. So send in your pictures. You can chat with us live, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. We would love to hear from you. We'd love you to say, well, Adam's here, and Adam's got such a wealth of knowledge. And, I'm a very experienced gardener myself, but Adam's knowledge is way beyond mine, I have to say. But together, we're here to pretty much answer everything, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. Make a good team.
Yeah, and hopefully keep you entertained as well. That was my entertaining move there. Right, so I pant at the weekend.
I've got something out. Just turn round.
What? Oh, my collar.
There you go.
Oh, I see.
That was really bugging me. I could see out the corner.
Do you know, it's always really nice to have a personal stylist.
I could see out the corner of my eye. I thought, shall I wait till off camera? I thought,
do you know what?
I'll just do it right now.
I sort of had a feeling something was wrong around the neck. I really did. Right, where should we start then, Adam? Should we start? Because we've got, actually, I know where I want to start.
Bulbs?
Yeah, because the bulbs, buy one, get two free. I'm just going to ask Adam straight away, is it too late? It's not.
I knew it's not too late to plant bulbs. In fact, I've actually planted bulbs before in January, February. All you've got to check is when you buy bulbs this time of year, check they're not mushy and soft.
Yeah, and none of ours are.
And they don't smell mouldy and stuff. And I tell you what, none of these do.
I've been planting bulbs this week.
Yeah, no problem.
November, even December, great time to plant your bulbs. And what we're doing today, because it is our Black Friday event, buy one, get two free. And it's a mix and match, so you can go for any varieties. You can go for three of the same, two of the same, one of another. It's up to you. But basically, put three in your basket and you'll only pay for one. We're going to start with one of the earliest flowering bulbs, and it is the crocus. And I love it when February comes. I mean, I hate January; it's a miserable month. But when we get into February and the crocus start to come into flower, it's just it is magical. Adam, isn't it?
And it is magical, Shaun, because you know when you get that first kind of sort of mildish day, and you can sort of almost smell and hear spring in the air. It's on its way, and you know it's arriving. You can and what the marvellous thing is with these crocuses, they pop right open on those lovely warm days, and all of a sudden you've gone from this world of grey and brown and darkness and drabness to an explosion of fantastic colours with those purples, those yellows, those whites, and those lovely beautiful stamens in the middle, and you get the first little bee come out and buzz round them, and it's like, whoa, this is so good, because these crocuses are starting it all for us. It's the start of a whole new year of gardening, and warmth and sunshine and blue skies and long days, and
well,
I love them.
Adam, you've made me want to buy more. You really have. Really easy to plant. All of our bulbs come with full planting instructions, but the golden rule is point your side up, and whatever the size of the bulb, plant it about twice its depth, and that's pretty much it. And crocus, you can plant them anywhere: pots, containers, beds and borders, under trees.
In the lawn, if you want to.
They look great actually. In a natural setting in the lawn. But for me, I mean, I love my snowdrops, but crocus are the first kind of burst of colour, aren't they?
And these are we call species crocus. So these are crocuses you would find them in the wild. These ones are actually, I've got to be honest with you, these ones are the more hybridised ones. But the ones we saw a moment ago, they're the actual species crocus. So you know, years ago when they went up in the sort of mountains and looking for bulbs, those are the ones they'd have seen.
Well, we are doing amazing deals. Buy one, get two free. But you don't have to go for all crocus. You can mix and match any ones you want, but you'll get two of them free, which is amazing value. Right, we're going to move on to the Chionodoxa now.
Yeah, these, again, I absolutely adore these, because these flower at that really harsh time of year. February, sort of March time, and just these lovely little spikes of colour. They almost remind me of kind of, I don't know, little tiny super sort of miniature hyacinth flowers, really. But
I get that.
Yeah,
yes,
really beautiful colours on these, and what I always sort of can't get my head round is how these bulbs always look so beautiful at such a harsh time of year. You think, goodness me, you're brave little fellas, aren't you? Kind of, and coming up this time of year. But again, on a late winter's day, early spring day, when you see a carpet of these flowering, it really will lift your soul, it will lift your heart. And as Shaun said a moment ago about the crocuses, you can plant these all over the place as well: beds, borders, hanging baskets, troughs, lawns, wherever you like.
And they don't get tall, these, do they?
No,
not at all.
About 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches max. That's all. And they're beautiful little heads sway in the breeze. They seed about as well over the course of time, so they'll spread by bulbs, but also spread by seeding as well. You plant them, you leave them, they'll come up for donkey's years. They die down quite quickly after they're flowered as well, which is nice. So you're not faced with months and months of those yellow leaves driving you mad. And then the following year, you'll forget they were even there, and then suddenly on a warm day or a mild day, they'll pop open and they'll give you all that joy all over again.
So they're beautiful little flowers. And I like, your description saying the flowers remind you of hyacinths. I get that completely. Now we're going to move on to anemones next. One of my mum's favourites, these.
Yeah, these used to be my grandma's favourites. She used to love these as cut flowers. Beautiful, beautiful cut flowers, these. And these again, I mean, these are quite strange. They will flower in spring to early summer, but occasionally they send out an odd flower at the most bizarre time of year.
Middle of summer sometimes, don't they?
Well, I've even seen them try to flower in sort of December or some odd time of year, and you think, what are you doing? But they know what they're doing. But stunning flowers on these. Lovely, great big straight stems make fabulous cut flowers, and really nice sort of ferny foliage on these as well, which is a great foil for the flowers.
And what's the earliest we'd expect these to flower?
I mean, I've actually seen these started to flower probably March time, even March, April.
So when it's mild, and
you get a lot of flowers as well. So you get one flower spike come up, and they're not like a gladioli where you get one flower spike and that's it, for example.
They keep going, don't they?
They keep going. These keep throwing out flowers all the time.
I have to say, the bulbs are the weirdest things. They're like little bits of coal almost, aren't they?
They are, when you actually get the bulbs, they're really hard, knobbly bulbs. You think nothing on earth will grow from them. What I would recommend you do with these...
Maybe coal's a bad description, but they're like little pellets, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Almost like some sort of animal drop-ins, to be honest. That's what they kind of remind me of.
Yeah, but you know what? They produce something really beautiful.
They do.
They do.
Just a couple of quick bit of advice on these. Soak them for 24 hours before you plant them. So just pour them into a jug of water for 24 hours. That way they'll hydrate themselves. And when you plant them pointy side down on these, sort of. So that's how you need to plant them.
They are really, really incredible. And the fact that they will produce multiple flowers over quite a few months is really, really lovely. Right, we've got some really unusual tulips next, and they're called the Hardy Rock Garden Mix. Miniature tulips, but they are going to look fantastic in so many different areas. And I'm just thinking, I mean, we've called it the rock garden mix because they look great on kind of a rockery. But again, pots, containers, hanging baskets.
Yeah, I mean, these are great as well. Good for a windy situation as well. Because, if you've got a really windy garden, the really tall tulips can get sort of blown over and sort of bashed about in the wind.
They can go over really quickly, can't they?
Yeah, these hug the ground more. These are lower growing. These tend to be earlier flowering as well. And what I like about this particular range is you're getting a complete range of different flower shapes as well as flower colours. You can see some of the petals have got very sort of sharp, sort of pointed ends. Some have got more rounded petals. Some are more star-shaped. Some are more kind of goblet shaped, like this one here. And even within each flower, I mean, you've got some that are a solid colour, some are a bicolour. So this is a really, really beautiful mix of unusual tulips, hardy tulips that will come up year after year after year. And all tulips ask of you is, when you plant tulips, plant them somewhere really well drained. Tulips hate sitting in really wet soil. Plant them somewhere really well drained, and tulips don't mind being baked to death during the summer. So if they are on a rockery and it's as dry as bones throughout the summer, they'll love that. That will really suit them perfectly, and they'll reflower year after year after year.
Well, lots of people in the chat, Adam, saying it's nice to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
So Grimmy, or Ian, said morning, Adam. Elaine said nice to see Adam back. Nobody said anything nice about me, Adam, but I don't care.
You're here all the time, though, aren't you?
Yeah,
so,
I am going to say, Neil, apologies. I have been away for the weekend, and I know I have got up my list to send you a list of pet-friendly houseplants. So, Neil, promise I will do that today, because he wanted a list of the plants I've got. So, really sorry, because he's got a cat. Rocky, isn't it? His cat. Isn't it?
Yes.
So, Neil, apologies. I will get round to that.
Was it Rocky who wasn't well recently?
Yeah,
right?
he's fine now, yeah. But Neil wants to keep him well, so he wants a list of pet-friendly houseplants and some that I've got as well, so I'll do that. Grimmy's got a question. Morning, guys. My mini berry orchard trees have arrived. That's the Brabant apple, the conference pear, and the and the Victoria plum. How long and where can I store them until planting? That's from Grimmy.
Right. Okay. We can do a couple of things. That they'll come in those sort of nice packaging, so they're dormant. They're going to be moist. So just keep them somewhere cool and damp for the time being. You can keep them like that for about a week or so. But if you're going to, if you want to delay planting longer than that, you can do something called healing them in, which basically just means go out in the garden somewhere, dig a little trench and just put them in a trench at a 45-degree angle, just cover the roots with soil, and they can sit there like that for at least a month to 6 weeks.
It's a temporary home, basically.
Yeah, it's a temporary home. And then
I've done that.
Yeah, and then once you finally decide where you want them, as long as you finally get them where they need to be by the end of March next year, they'll be fine.
Yeah, so that's a great idea, actually. So thank you, Adam, and thank you, Grimmy. Any questions? Well, look, let's make the most of Adam today, because he's got a wealth of knowledge. Right, we've done the tulips. Remember, it's a mix and match. It's a buy one, get two free. But you've got to put 3 in your basket, and then you only pay for one, basically. And then the final one that we've got here, my personal favourite, I've planted hundreds of these this year, the Narcissus tete-a-tete. I really have. I've gone to town this year. Yeah,
well, they're fantastic daffodils, aren't they, Shaun? Because, again, they come back year after year after year. They gradually spread. They sort of create bigger and bigger clumps. In fact, eventually, I found with mine, I actually dig them up in the end and split them up and spread them out. Because, they really do fill out. You get those multiple flowers on each stem. They're nice and short as well, so again they don't get blown over by the wind. And I also find with the sort of smaller narcissus and daffodils, the foliage tends to die off more quickly.
I agree. So you don't look quite so messy.
Yeah, so even if you want to plant them in the lawn, you don't need to wait till your lawn's 8 foot tall before you can cut the grass. You can cut the grass reasonably soon after these flower, because they die down a lot more quickly than the taller daffodils.
And I just think this size looks particularly good in hanging baskets and pots. Sometimes the full-size daffodils are a bit too tall.
Yeah, they look a bit out of proportion, don't they? Yeah, and they blow over as well, whereas they're nice and squat, so even when we get those spring gales and stuff, or even we get some snow or frosts, they don't sort of fall over and snap like like some of the taller
And you get
daffodils
several
might.
flowers on one stem.
You
as
do,
well.
yeah, and they're just, and you can just plant them anywhere. In fact, nearly all of these bulbs will do as brilliant in gardens as they will in containers, pots, hanging baskets. You could even, if you want to, plant some in some pots and bring them indoors while they're flowering.
Yeah,
and
great
then,
idea.
Then pop them back outside straight after they're finished flowering.
And the value really is good. I mean, I'm not being funny, but the supermarkets, we're quite often, you know, in February, March, they'll sell little pots of tete-a-tete, and you maybe get 3 bulbs in there, and you can easily spend £4 or £5 just for a little pot.
Yeah, and the good thing is, you know, we're saying, and we said to you at the start, you know, it's not too late to plant the bulbs because, I mean, if you pick up a pack of them bulbs there, Shaun, at the end, I mean, you know, there's no soft ones in there. They're not soft, are they?
No, they're really firm.
There's no mildewy, kind of mouldy, musty smell to them as well, which is really, really important.
And they're a really good size bulb.
Yeah, they
as
are.
well.
I mean, and they are guaranteed to flower because we always say when you plant a bulb, you plant a promise because in the middle of each bulb, there's already a little embryonic flower in the centre of that bulb. So as soon as you put that in the ground, nature will do the rest and you're guaranteed to get flowers on these next year and then 20, 30 years hence because these last a long, long time.
And if you're looking for any pots to put bulbs in, we've got an amazing selection of pots that are also part of our Black Friday event as well. We've got all of those coming up. Pots, different shapes and sizes, different designs. So I always think bulbs in pots, it just works because when the bulbs are looking great, your pots come in prime position, and then when the bulbs go over, you can easily just put the pots to one side where you don't see them dying down.
Yeah, it's so weird you say that, Shaun, because I've got some gorgeous, you know, really big patio doors on the side of our bungalow, and the patio's in front, and every spring I do that. I bring loads and loads of pots of bulbs. I enjoy them for a good 4 to 6 weeks, and yeah, I can see them where I'm sitting on the sofa, and then there's a little bit down the side of the bungalow, what I call my no man's land, and that's where they go when they're finished flowering. And they can die down out the way.
I do the same.
Yeah.
I've got a little strip of land just behind the garage. I say strip of land, it's about 1 metre wide behind the garage. Nobody sees it. Yeah. And that's where all of my dying bulbs go. Right. So, as I said, we've got loads of pots. All of these pots are on the show, all coming up. Different, say, prices, different shapes and sizes, but they are all part of our Black Friday deal as well. Right. So, would you like an absolute steal for Black Friday events? Because a lot of people bark, hang on. Have you seen the price on that?
Whoa! Hold on a minute.
Is that right, Stu?
I need to double check on that.
That's what you've got, $6.99 or $6.29 for club members for this.
That's insane.
Yeah, and that's what you're getting, by the way. Don't think, oh, well, okay, it's $6.99, so I'm going to get one half the size of that. That is the price right now of the Cordyline Lime Passion, $6.29 for club members.
I can already visualise. I'm not going to say the name, but I can always visualise in my head some garden centres near me that wouldn't be ashamed of charging $24.99.
Yeah, I was going to say £20 to £25. And to be fair, our recommended retail price is £20. That's a very fair price. But if you want to grab it right now, you can get it for £6.99 or $6.29 for club members. And what a beautiful specimen this is, isn't it?
I mean, this is stunning, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're talking about a moment ago about sort of houseplants, bringing them indoors because, you know, there's not much going on outside. But if you've got something like this is colour from foliage in the middle of the winter, isn't it? I mean, this is going to look brilliant. And again, we were talking about things on the patio. Well, if you've got quite a nice big planter, for example, I'll just grab one of these ones here. This is one of the ones we're going to have on the show today. I mean, if you had sort of a planter like one of these, Shaun, there's no reason why you couldn't put that Cordyline in the middle and have bulbs, spring flowering bulbs round the base.
Imagine all your tete-a-tetes or your crocus, any of those.
Look fantastic.
By the way, we've only got a few, like literally 4 or 5 twin packs of these. So these are the medleys, and it's a buy one get one free. But you're right. I mean, that Cordyline is made to go in there, isn't it?
Yeah, because the great thing about the Cordylines is they make fantastic pot plants, and also if you're in a slightly colder area and there's some really cold weather coming, you know, in a pot you could just take them out in the worst of the weather and just protect them if you need to be. But good thing is they make good central plants. They make good feature plants, Cordylines, and they're this really lovely habit that as they grow, what happens is the lower leaves turn yellow and drop off, and don't panic, that's what they do. And then eventually they form a trunk, a bit like a yucca. If you know, like a yucca houseplant, they form a trunk, and then the leaves are on the top, and you get like a false palm tree kind of look, again, which is absolutely fantastic.
Do you know, I did see, and it sounds unusual, but I did see online somebody that actually put Cordylines in pots and made them look quite festive. They put lights around them and pine cones and things, and it looked really funky, it really did. Right, let's just, because Adam and I and Stu, we're here to save you money today. Let's just give you an example basket here. So, we've put 2 of the Cordylines in. They're $6.99 each. If you put one of these silver medal planters in, you will get your second one absolutely free. And the free gift is in there as well because we've used the code YGTV4824. You can see that our total saving is nearly £46. Now, postage, as I mentioned, it is capped at $6.99. And bear in mind, you're getting 2 big pots and 2 Cordylines. I think that is very reasonable. But if you did want to get free postage, just add something else to your basket. Maybe actually compost. You need some compost, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd get some compost because you're going to need it because you've got 2 big pots there to fill. So if you had your compost, that would take you to over £40, about £50, £53.95, and then you get free postage. And if you're our club member, you would save £5.40 on that order.
You could just say, correct me because I might be wrong on this, but you could do something a bit more. So if you didn't order compost, but you ordered something else instead to get you over that 40 quid,
yeah,
and then order the compost separate, you'd get 2 free gifts, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Yeah. No, Adam, it's worth doing that because you don't actually ever pay for postage on the compost. But honestly, every single one of you watching right now, $6.99 for the most stunning
I'm going to just lean this forward so you can look into it. So look at that. Isn't that stunning? I mean, it looks a bit like a giant spider plant. That's what it reminds me of at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, these are really, really beautiful, stunning plants. When Cordylines first came to the market in the UK, I remember donkeys years ago, they were like a really dull green or very sort of a dark red. But now the colour range on these is absolutely incredible. I mean, oranges, reds, lime greens, yellows, beautiful, beautiful plants.
And we do class them as winter hardy, but as Adam said, if it's particularly cold, if there's a really bad smell bad spell, if there's a bad spell of like heavy frost and snow, just literally tie it up just for a few days.
Yeah,
just like that. And this is probably how it arrived, by the way. So just arrive in a big top box, tied up.
Literally like that.
Yeah, maybe put a bit of fleece over it, but that will just protect the crown. But it's a Black Friday event. That price for that Cordyline is amazing. And let us know if you're buying that right now. We'd love to hear from you in, of course, the group chat on YouTube and, of course, on Facebook.
That would actually make a really nice. I know it's cheesy to say that. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's a Christmas gift." People say it all the time, but it would. This would make a really, really lovely Christmas gift. And of course, once you've wrapped it up, like we showed you just now, and nobody ever guess what it was, would they? You'd never guess in a million years somebody bought you a Cordyline, and you open it on Christmas Day, you think, wow, that's just absolutely beautiful. Love it.
Oh, Neil said, Bex has sent you the houseplants. That's great, Neil. But I know you wanted to know some of the ones that I've got, so I'm just looking at the group chat. But yeah, I'd love anyone that's buying that right now, just comment in the group chat. Have you already bought that? What do you think of the price today? Right, we have got one more Cordyline for you, and it is the Little Red Star, which very beautiful in terms of colour, because it's like a reddy burgundy, isn't it?
That is a knockout plant, that one. In fact, if I put that in a pot, what I'd be tempted to do is put that in a really, really nice pot, and some of the pots, again, we've got on here today are big enough to keep that in for a year or two, and then I would probably cover the pot with perhaps like a white gravel or a really light coloured stone.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to sort of highlight that colour. Or, again, if you was going to put it in a pot or container, underplant it with some really sort of lovely, for instance, the Festuca glauca, the bluegrass, for example, and you get that lovely contrast, colour contrast.
Do you know what else I'm thinking? And we haven't got them on the show, but they are on our website. The hellebores will look nice on that, wouldn't they? Yeah. We've got the Christmas rose, the hellebores. I'm just thinking of all those white flowers in the winter underneath that.
Yeah, that would look beautiful. And also with something like this as well, when you get a colour as strong as this, it's always good to set it against a background that will kind of highlight that plant as well. So if you've got a white wall, you can put this opposite. I mean, you can see it against that white bench there. All of a sudden, you really get to see the structure of this plant. And I like the way they've planted that in an old milk churn as well, which is sort of a bit different, a bit unusual. We've got one of those out the front of our bungalow. So it's nice sometimes to find something a bit quirky and a bit different to plant something in. Or why not get both of them?
I always listen very carefully to Adam when it comes to little tips and hints for your garden and design, because he has won 4 golds with his partner John at Chelsea. So he knows his stuff.
I do.
And he's got a lovely garden, as you can imagine. He really has. So those are part of the Black Friday event. Go for either one of those. Maybe go for both. But they're both at £6.09. You can, by the way, Adam and I and Stu, we're going to try and get through as much as possible this Sunday morning. But you can always shop ahead on our website, of course. All you need to do is click on, there you go. So we're there at the top. Loads of Black Friday offers. And then you can watch our live show. Loads of clearance items today, loads of brilliant buys. We have got some houseplants as well. They're coming about a little bit later on at absolutely crazy prices. But I mean, look at things like the Verbena, $3.99.
That's insane because $8.99, $9.99. It's 2 litre pot, isn't it? I think it's in as well. So
there's a big one, yeah, 2 litre.
Yeah, You could be paying $9.99 up to $11.99 in some garden centres for
totally
one in a pot that size.
And we've got a really unusual calistemon. It's like a limey colour called honey pot.
$3.99.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. And actually, the hydrangea, I know Elaine bought quite a few hydrangeas from us recently. And I'll tell you what, I think the hedging, the hornbeam, 3 of those, and they're in big pots of them, $12.49.
Yeah, that's mad.
In 3 litres.
Yeah, that's absolutely mad because you could easily pay that for one of those. So
I planted a beech hedge from bare root, and I paid way more than that.
Yeah.
So do shop ahead, and very important, what I would do, I'd always put the offer code in your basket to start with, because then you'll actually see the prices that you're going to pay. So as you're starting to shop with us, just put YGTV 4824, put that code in your basket, and then you'll see all of the special pricing that we have got for this Black Friday event. But some amazing deals today, really good deals.
Even the ferns. I mean, look, $4.99 for that fern, that hairy lip fern.
I know.
I mean, again, that's a fantastic price for it because ferns are quite expensive.
Yeah. And again, they're big. They're in say, big 2 litre pots as well. Right, Stu said, do you want to know a secret? I'd love to know a secret, Stu. So apparently Stu's just checked, and the hairy lip fern, the Chionodoxa, is the best price that we've ever done today. How much is the copper shield? Right, where's the copper shield? Because I like that one as well.
There's left in it, that one, yeah.
Right, there's a little bit more, isn't it?
Whoa!
No, hang on! I didn't know that wasn't a buy one get one free. Stu, is that a new deal or something? Wow, that's new. That's new for today. So actually, the copper shield fern, which is really beautiful, is working out $3.50 fern.
I'll tell you, I'll
do you want to get?
Yeah, right down here.
Sorry, that is just so good.
Let's get both of them. I'll give you that.
So it is genuinely today is, and we will chat.
That's your hairy lip one, Shaun.
So that's the hairy lip,
and that's the copper shield fern there.
Right, so 2 of those for $6.99.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that is not a little 9 centimetre widdly plant, is it? That's a real substantial plant with a.
Stu, can we just give the details quickly about
first one of the day?
That is so good, isn't it?
Fabulous root system.
So it's a buy one get one free. That is a brand new Black Friday offer this week. Buy one get one free. That is amazing. Just tell me the copper shield fern, if anyone doesn't know it. What does it do in the winter?
This one, I actually find this to be sort of quite evergreen throughout the winter as well.
Semi-evergreen,
yeah,
would you say?
Semi-evergreen.
Yeah,
I've got it in a raised bed underneath some other sort of shrubs and stuff, and I find where the frost doesn't get to it, the fronds stay really nice all the way through the winter.
But fully winter hardy, we should say.
Yeah, bone winter hardy. It does well in shade. It'll take a little bit of, say, early morning sun or late evening sun, but does prefer kind of a lot of fern, sort of a shady sort of position. But the great thing about it is that the new fronds, or croziers is their technical term, they come through in this beautiful sort of copper sort of colour, which is hence the copper shield fern kind of name. But it's a real elegant fern, this, Shaun.
Come on at home. If you're thinking, shall I buy anything today? When you see prices like this for our Black Friday events, I mean, you can't resist that, can you?
No, I mean, it's insane. I mean,
it's true, sorry.
That is the new foliage. That's what the new foliage will look like. So what I would suggest is, with these kind of ferns at the very end of the winter, just take the old leaves off at the end of the winter, and then that just makes room for the little new leaves to come through, and then you get that dramatic colouring, that sort of copper-coloured foliage.
I will be honest, we were supposed to go to that a little bit later, so we've gone to it early.
We jumped the gun.
We did jump the gun, so sorry, Stu, I was just so keen to mention that one. Buy one, get one free, $6.99 for 2 of those. But again, when they're gone, they're gone. Get them in your basket right now. We'd love to hear from you, so I'm in charge of the group chat today. Stu say, yeah, God help us. But so Elaine's there, Neil's there. What's Elaine gone for today? Oh, she's put Elaine's gone for the Cordyline. I don't blame you at all.
Which one?
I think she's
red or green.
I think she's gone for green.
Gone for green.
I'm going to guess. But seriously, I think the Cordyline and those ferns unbelievable value for money. And make sure you get some pots at the same time. Right, we have got a houseplant collection that's been named after me, Adam.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, oh, what's it?
Well, it's a 6-pack.
Oh, right. Oh, so it's the buff collection, is it?
That was the worst joke ever.
I've got a 6-pack, but it's all in one place. That's the only problem.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got 6 plants for you at an amazing price. 6 beautiful house plants. We call it the variety mix, actually, and it works out £5 a house plant. For club members, you get it for £27, so about £4.50 a house plant. And all of these are winners, and actually none of them are difficult.
No, they're not difficult at all. This one, this Croton, I actually like. Or
I love it.
Like really, really, yeah. I mean, look at the colours on that. Joseph's coat, isn't it?
I was going to say, I know that was Joseph's coat, but Codium, Croton plant, stunning foliage, remarkable. Does well in most rooms, but it does like a bit of humidity, so bathroom, kitchen would be ideal for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, sort of with probably most of these houseplants as well, they like light, but they don't, you know, they don't necessarily want to be like in a south-facing window being baked by full-on sun in the summertime. This time of year, all houseplants give them as much natural light as possible because obviously the sun's not that high in the sky. But yeah, this is a beauty, this one. I mean is this the size that's going out, this size?
You would pay £15 to £20 easily for that one house plant. That is part of the collection today. Now you also get the Ficus elastica. I know this is the rubber plant.
Love it. I mean, you just can't go wrong with them, can you? I bought a variegated one only about a year ago. That height, it's already like a metre and a half tall. I mean, they grow really, really fast.
They love the UK
they do.
As a house plant, don't they?
Yeah, and they do quite well in lower light as well. I've got it kind of towards the back of my plant selection, so it doesn't get, you know, it's not dark, but it doesn't get masses and masses of full-on light. And it loves it. It thrives.
Now you've also got, I know this is the parlour palm.
Yeah, it's the Chamadora, isn't it?
Chamadora
elegans. Goodness me, we've been growing these in the UK since Victorian times. Really easy to grow, elegant. Doesn't get, you know, awfully lot taller than that. Again, will do well in dappled shade. Just sort of keep it on the moist side. I've got a sneeze.
And that is quite slow growing, as Adam said. So it's not a vigorous plant. It stays nice and neat and tidy. Then we have got the Dracaena here, marginata, which is a very easy plant to look after.
They probably one of the easiest. I've got one of these in my living room that's probably about nearly 2 metres tall, and it's a 3-stemmed one. And a bit like we were saying about the Cordylines, this does the same. As it grows, don't worry about the lower leaves turning yellow and dropping off. That's what it does naturally, and eventually you get this lovely kind of branched plant with these big heads of foliage, and it's called marginata because it's got these lovely red margins along the edge of the leaves there. So you get the green leaves with the lovely red edging. And with this, in fact, with probably most of the houseplants we've got here today, looking after them wise, particularly this time of year, let them dry out, give them a little bit of a drink, let them dry out. Don't, you know, this time of year you want to keep the watering to a minimum during winter time, and then come sort of April time when the weather warms up, that's when you can sort of start to water a bit more regularly.
Growing, you know, they'll stay fairly dormant over the winter. Right, we've also got the asparagus fern, lovely one again for the bathroom, kitchen, loves humidity, and I like the texture of that. It's so like, it's just very, very tactile, isn't it?
It is really tactile, and this eventually sends out really great big long kind of branches as well. It's great for hanging baskets, this one, for an indoor hanging basket. It flowers as well. It has little tiny white flowers that then go on to produce berries as well. So, you know, this will give you sort of that added interest. Tough as old boots, and these have, normally, they have the most ridiculous root system. I'll try and get it out of the pot.
Yeah, it's quite rooted, this one.
Actually, no, I will get it out of the pot. But,
look at that.
They have the most insane root system you can imagine. They're just incredible. But a really tough plant. Again, just give it plenty of light. And got dust everywhere now.
Don't you worry, Adam.
Another Dracaena there, Shaun.
Yeah, so this is your final. You get all 6 plants today, down to $29.99, $26.99. This is the Dracaena compactor. So a lot bigger, broader leaves on this one, and it does grow more compact in nature.
It's more squat, isn't it, than the marginata type. But yeah, I mean, the same family, Dracaena family, but a really beautiful plant there. I mean, really statuesque and stunning, that, and those beautiful glossy leaves as well.
Now, if you don't want all 6, then we do a 3-pack for you, which is the rubber plant, the Parlour Palm and the Dracaena. So those three basically. So if you want to just go for those three, then you can go for those at just £17.99. And that's the Chionodoxa, the Dracaena and the Ficus elastica. I mean, in what I call popular terms, you've got rubber plant, you've got Parlour Palm, and you've got the dragon tree. So there's a combination. So they're working out, say, still great value, but the best offer is to go for all six. £27 if you are in the club.
I used to call these butcher's plant, and the only reason being is, when I was brought up as a kid, there used to be a butcher's, and they always had loads of these in hanging baskets in the butcher's shop. Goodness knows why. I always remember that. It's just one of those memories in my mind of seeing these growing in butcher's shops.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, strange. Well, in where I lived anyway.
So it just might be your butcher, Adam. Yeah.
It might have literally just been that one butcher's. But I always remember going to the butcher's, this place called The Stowe in Harlow, and yeah. Weird, isn't it, what you remember from being a kid?
Right, Neil... I know Neil obviously has got his cat Rocky. A lot of you are pet owners. A lot of us have got cats and dogs. This selection has been put together because it is all pet friendly, and you have got three stunning pet friendly plants here. You've got the Boston fern that I'm showing you right now. They're absolutely beautiful. You have got what I know as the spider plant, and then you've also got the fishbone prayer plant.
And you started singing now.
Say it again.
Like spider plant.
Spider plants. Again, for £20.
Look at that one. I mean, how beautiful is that, Shaun? I mean, that is spectacular. I mean, look at the drama that creates instantly. You've got like a sort of a space in your living room that's sort of reasonably shady. You create a bit of interest. You've got a shelf perhaps near a window that gets some sort of light, but it's not fully sunlit. This would be a beautiful plant, and this also it carries out something called nyctinisty. Which,
yes, that was the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
the other day.
And nyctinisty it's the habit of these. What you'll find is at certain times of the day, these leaves roll right up. They roll right up on themselves into little tight tubes, and that's called nyctinisty.
Nyctinisty.
Yeah, it's pronounced. It's not spelled anything like it's not pronounced anything like it's spelled. So it's a really weird spelling, but yeah, it's called nyctinisty, and a lot of plants do it either with their flowers or with their foliage, and it's just a way of protecting themselves during the night time.
And it saves energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it saves energy, it conserves moisture, and with some plants it protects the pollen at night from marauding kind of creatures that would nick their pollen at night, because obviously they want to save it for the bees during the day.
It is weird, because I've got this plant, and I suddenly look at it, and I'm like, hang on, it's moved. When I say it's moved, it changes shape. The leaves, do sometimes curl or just go in a different direction at night.
And when they do, what you will notice is that you'll notice it's like sort of dual colour, because underneath it's got this beautiful purple coloration underneath, which is absolutely beautiful, really gorgeous. So look at that.
Impress your friends. Oh yes, my fishbone prayer plant. It has a habit of moving. It's known as nyctinisty. Tenanthe Bill Marxii is the full name for that one, but a lot of people know it as the fishbone prayer plant, and it's known as a prayer plant because those leaves do fold up as if they're in prayer. Spider plants, I love these because they are just so easy, reliable, and they produce babies like you could never ever imagine. Because what happens, you get these stems, they'll appear as the plant matures. They appear quite early on actually, so a year or so you'll start to get those, and then you get little white flowers at the end that within a few days turn into baby plants.
They do, yeah. And all you've got to do if you want
stews.
Yeah, if you want to sort of actually propagate those as well, all you need to do is just get a little pot of compost, a little 9cm pot, and then just pin the base of one of those little babies onto the top of the compost. Within a couple of weeks it will root in, and then you can just sever it from the mother plant, and you're giving yourself extra plants, and you can grow these outside.
Now, you told me this, and I'd never done it before, and since you told me, I've noticed so many spider plants outside.
Yeah, if you, I mean, I'll be honest with you, in a really, really extreme winter, they may perish, but more often than not, if you can plant these in the garden somewhere really well drained and sunny, they die down in the winter, obviously, but yeah, by about the end of May, you'll start to see new leaves come through. Yeah, and they will actually survive outside. Wow,
and I'm actually, since Adam said that, I've noticed quite a few garden displays, particularly in London, actually, where they've been using
in London, they would almost be like a perennial, because obviously they get that extra warmth, don't they, in the winter.
So easy to propagate. I propagate mine slightly different from Adam. I tend to chop them off and put them in a little glass of water.
That works just as well. Yeah, exactly the same.
And they root sometimes within a few days. And then the final one we've got got is the Boston Fern.
Yeah, I've got a massive one of these in my bathroom that I ordered from Bex when Bex did TikTok. Yeah, so I got one of the really big ones. It looks stunning on my bathroom windowsill. So they like that sort of really moist, damp, sort of lower light levels. Where they originate from, they actually originate from sort of the swamps in sort of southern America. That's the kind of place they like to grow. So the deep south and that sort of part of the world. So they're like quite hot, steamy, kind of dark, foresty sort of places. So in a bathroom with a little bit of light coming through is perfect. The one thing they will absolutely hate though is full-on sun. Don't ever let these get burnt by full-on sun. They like lots of light but not direct sun.
And I guess it is a fern, so you'd kind of imagine
keep it moist.
Would not like really, really full-on sun. Yeah, and it likes say to be kept wet, doesn't it?
Yeah, easy to grow though. I've had mine probably for 6 weeks now, and it looks as gorgeous and as pristine as when it arrived. So, and I've got it on my windowsill in my bathroom. Obviously, like most people, I've got the what do you call it? The glass you have in your bathroom. That you can't see through.
Opaque?
Frosted. Opaque, yeah. I've got the frosted glass, so that lets some light through, but it doesn't get baked by the sun.
And makes sure that people can't see you when you're having a shower.
Exactly. When you're in your birthday suit.
So all three of those, but all pet friendly. So for Neil and all of our pet owners, that is a great selection to go for. And 3 stunning plants, working out about £6.60 each. And then our final offer that we've got for you right now, there's loads more on our website, but this is another Black Friday deal that we really, really wanted to draw your attention to, because it's a mix and match. So any 2 of these plants, are you ready for the price on this? So you've got a choice of Epipremnums. There's the Areum, which is the slightly yellowy sort of green one. There's the Marble Queen, which is this one here, which is like a creamy green. That's my favourite, and Stu's actually. And there's the Spider Plant as well. So any 2, $9.99. That means it's a double. You have to put 2 in there, but it means that you get your second plant for £1.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Amazing.
And I mean, look at the quality of these plants.
I know.
There's not just some little widdly stem in there with just a few leaves. I mean, this is already multi-branched at the base. I can see there's like 4 or 5 stems coming out directly from the compost. Look at the leaves. The leaves are really glossy. They're really shiny. You've got that lovely sort of variegation on that marbled effect. I'm actually going to go against you and Stu, because I prefer the Aureum one. I like
both. To be honest, I like
the
both.
gold. I love the gold look on those. That's probably my favourite. But you know what? I wouldn't balk at either of those if somebody bought me one of those. I think they're both absolutely stunningly beautiful.
And I know this is Devil's Ivy.
Yeah, that's what I've called it. I mean, I used to call it Scindapsus, Devil's Ivy. But I mean, like so many plant names now, they change, don't they?
But the reason why it's often called Devil's Ivy, it's pretty much impossible to kill.
It is, yeah. And you can grow it up or grow it down.
Yeah.
So it'll climb up a moss pole if you want to, or you can put it on top of a unit and let it actually trail down. It will do either. And
what I really like about the Epipremnums, they will tolerate fairly low light as well. So if you've got that difficult corner of a room where there's a shelf and you're just looking for a real plant that will do well there, they will tolerate fairly low light. Ideal situation is a bright light, but indirect sunlight. Having said that, they will do really well in low light areas as well. And you can forget to water them. I mean, not for months and months, but they are quite forgiving. They are a very, very easy plant to grow. So you can mix and match. You can either go for the Marble Queen, which is the kind of like whitey green sort of like leaf there that you're looking at right now. The slightly yellow one is the Areum, which is Adam's favourite, and you can also include the spider plants in that double up deal. So mix and match, put 2 in there, and you get your second one for £1. But everything is on our website. It's all about Black Friday deals with myself, Shaun, Ryan, and Adam today. So just have a look there. But any of those are $8.99, but 2 in your basket, and you'll get the second one for just £1.
The only thing you will find, Shaun, is with variegated plants is the sort of less light you give them, the less variegation you get.
Very good point, Adam.
The more natural light you give them, the stronger the variegation becomes. But but it's completely up to you, really.
But they're very easy plants to grow, those.
Epipremnum are one of the easiest house plants. They're really not fussy at all.
Really, really attractive and very easy to propagate. They produce aerial roots, so very easy to propagate. Right, we're trying to get you to save as much money. I know a lot of people bargain hunting on the Black Friday, week, and if you do get your order to over £40, you will, of course, get free delivery. And we have got a fantastic deal, as ever, on our premium professional compost. We have not put the price up on this for at least, I think it's about 2 years at least.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Because everything else has gone up, hasn't it?
Well, what hasn't gone up, to be honest, in the last couple of years?
I was just looking at the reviews. They never, ever, ever fail to impress us. We constantly get 5-star reviews for this compost, and it really is for pretty much everything in your garden, and of course great for repotting your houseplants as well. And we give you 2 of the 50-litre bags, but today, don't forget, you also get the £5 gift, which is the Blooming Fast, which is our best-selling fertiliser. So all of that delivered free of charge for £24.98, £22.48 if you are one of our 45,000 club members. And we'll just quickly go through this. Do you know, Stu was just saying what a pain it is to buy compost, because it's a busy time. We're into December now. There's lots going on. I don't want to go to a garden centre and be getting a big trolley and loading up compost.
Yeah, and some garden centres put the compost in a really weird place where you've got to wheel it all the way through.
At this time of year, it's right at the very back.
Yeah,
after you've gone through all the Christmas trees.
Yeah, because they just want it out of the way, don't they? But and also there's all that thing where you take it out of the boot of the car, you catch it on the catch.
Yeah.
Trickle all the compost all the way through the house or around the garden.
It's one of the worst jobs, isn't it, buying compost? And I tell you what, as well. Tried to find somebody on the checkout nowadays. Anyway, you know what I mean? So many. Even the big sort of like sheds, as I call them, that sell DIY and gardening. A lot of them now, it's all self-checkout. Yeah. And that's even worse with a bag of compost, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's a complete pain.
Trying to scan that barcode. It's horrible.
I had a really quickly. I won't go, but really quick. I had a really weird thing happen to me this summer with a bag of compost. I was working somewhere in a garden and I was getting bitten to death. So I smothered myself in DEET just to kind of, deter these flipping creatures that were biting me. And John and I were working somewhere with lots of bags of compost, and we were putting the compost over our shoulder to carry it and then dropping it down where we wanted it. When I finished at the end of the day, the DEET had kind of taken the print off the bag, and it was all on the side of my neck. My neck was green and black, where it had taken the print off of the bag. I couldn't believe it.
I love it.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Wow, that had never happened with our compost.
Well, it wouldn't with those, no, because they're plain.
Yeah, it arrives in commercial packaging. Just really quickly, breaking this down, you've got 50% composted wood fibre. And Adam, you've used so many different types of compost, obviously, commercially. Does the texture of this always impress you?
Yeah, absolutely, Shaun, because the great thing about this is, you say, it's massively peat reduced as well. Where we've taken peat out, we've added that compost wood fibre, so we've got a compost that's really open, that lets the water percolate through, that lets the air penetrate through, that lets the roots go down through the compost. You've got a slow release fertiliser in here that's going to feed your plants for up to 6 months. You've got a wetting agent that makes the compost what we call hydrophilic. It loves to absorb the moisture. It's not like some of those composts when they dry out, it's like water off a duck's back. It's pretty much pH balanced as well, so not too acid, not too alkaline. And yeah, the results speak for themselves. I only ever use this, well, tell a lie, I have occasionally when I've run out of this.
Oh, I know, it's so annoying when you do.
Because sometimes when you just want to get a job finished.
You've got.
And you run out, but then.
Then you get it, don't you?
Yeah, I went to this place down the road. It was one of these builders merchants places, and I got 10 bags of this compost. Oh, and it smelled like poo. It was horrible. It reeked for about 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Well,
don't ever run out of our compost. Check out the reviews, and it's a great way of getting your order to over £40 today and getting your free delivery on everything. 125, and you will get your free Blooming Fast as well. But if you have just joined us, a very, very good morning. You probably noticed this isn't Bex. This is Adam Woolcott, part of the team. Adam is a brilliant, brilliant source of knowledge. So if you've got any questions about any of the products, you've got Adam here today and my good self as well. But let's remind you of some of the amazing Black Friday deals we've had so far. Now that Cordyline, if you can just afford one item today, then you have got to go for this Cordyline. I know Elaine's got this in her basket. Thank you, Elaine. We'll give you the details on this one if we can, because it is down to £6.99 or £6.29 for club members as well. Do you know what I'd do? I'd go for a pair of them though. I really would go for a pair of those because they are stunning. I love the colour. They're called Lime Passion because these lovely like limes and creams. They're really big. They'll arrive in a 17cm pot, and they are down from £20 to £6.99. That is one of the best Black Friday deals we've currently got, but selling very quickly as you can imagine. And loads of you have been buying that on our website during the week. 680292. Then we've got the other Cordyline. A little red star, the Australis, and again, this is a lovely, lovely contrast to the lime passion. And what Adam was saying about this one, it does look really, really good against a lighter background, so against a white wall, maybe with some white gravel around it. Maybe you bought the hellebores the other week, the Christmas hellebores, the Christmas rose. White flowers around the base of that would look absolutely superb. So another great deal down for £20 to £19.99. Now our bulbs, it's still a great time to plant your bulbs, and what we're doing today as part of our Black Friday event, it's a buy one get two free. And even if you've already planted lots of bulbs, you know what? There's always room to plant a few more. There's always a few spare pots lying around that you could fill. And these are the crocus, the species mixed 40 bulbs, part of our mix and match offer. But remember, you need to put 3 bags of bulbs in your basket and you'll only pay for one of them, 600,082. Then we've got the Chionodoxas, which are, again, one of the early flowering bulbs, probably flower around about March time. Stunning, stunning blues and whites and navies, a little bit of sort of like mauvey colours in those, but a very, very pretty bulb that pretty much grow anywhere, 600,155. And actually one of the ones that is quite neat as it dies down. Then we've got our anemones. Now these are quite odd, and I say odd, they're a little bit different from some of the bulbs because they can start to flower as early as March, but they continue flowering for several months. You know, a lot of bulbs, like your tulip, they produce one flower, generally speaking, and then that's it. Not with the anemones, so they can still produce flowers throughout many, many months of the year, 600,319. And then we've got a lovely selection of tulips for you. Really nice selection here. And what is really good about these particular ones is they are a lot more compact. So what that means is they're only going to grow to about 20 centimetres, so they're not going to get too tall or anything like that. They would do very nicely in pots and containers and hanging baskets, but if you've got a little rockery, a rock garden, they look fantastic in those as well. And a good point that Adam made was that a lot of tulips, the tall ones that go like 50, 60 centimetres, if we get like a bad spring and there's lots of storms and things like that, they can really, really get broken and the petals can fly off after just a few days. These are a lot shorter, so a lot more protected and would do great even in a bit of a blustery spring. 600,433. And then my favourite, I must have planted this year. Do you know what? I think I've planted about 300-400 of these. Not in just my garden, but my mum's and the pub garden. These are the Narcissus tete-a-tete. They're so adorable. And when you see all of these little miniature daffodils coming out together, normally around about Mother's Day, Easter, I know Easter moves around, but normally sort of like March, early April time, they are just adorable. And you are getting a buy one, get two free. I love the tete-a-tete. So yes, remember, it's our Black Friday event, buy one, get two absolutely free. But we are back with Adam, and I'm so excited about this. Hang on, sorry, Adam. I'm just going to get my free gift as well, because don't forget, even though it's Black Friday and we've massively reduced loads of prices, you will get your free gift as well worth £5, and it's the Blooming Fast, which will make 100 litres of our premium plant food. What are you eating, Adam?
Oh, I was just drinking, I'll show you.
Ah!
My Hill drink, my energy drink.
It's got his little, I'll tell you, it's very organic, it's got his little packed lunch down here.
Yeah, I've got everything, got sort of pot noodle, got pot noodle for later.
Oh.
Yeah, I love the pot noodles.
I do as well.
Terrible, really, aren't they?
No, they're fine now and again.
Well, they're better than they used to be.
They're really good.
I love them. I've got fruit. I've got fruit as well. I've got mandarins.
He always brings his tin mandarins in. Anyway, right, very excited about this table. I love a plant bargain. You probably know, I've presented a show called Garden Bargains with Adam for many years. And I love to get really great plants at low prices, and this table is amazing. So we're going to start with the ferns. There's 2 different ferns. This is the first one, which is the hairy lip fern. It's a double up deal, so you get 2 for £9.99, working out £5 each. Mad value, because these are really well established in a 2-litre pot. But Adam, this is a more compact fern, this one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And this is a compact fern. This is an evergreen fern as well. But also, this is a fern that can grow in shade, or it can take some sunshine as well. And it's actually a fern that doesn't mind being a little bit on the drier side. Normally, when we talk to you about ferns, we say, oh, you know, shade, really, really moist soil, keep out of full sun. This one's a bit more adaptable. So, you know, not sort of, you know, not a prima donna, but a beautiful fern. I mean, look how elegant and delicate those leaves, or say croziers, are. You know, if I lean it again, you can see.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Isn't that lovely, Shaun?
And as what I love about ferns is that the slugs don't like them.
No, they're too much of a munch for the slug. They're really coarse. They're not very juicy. So the slug's not interested. Slugs like nice juicy things, like soft things. But no, they'll leave these alone. They won't touch these.
I always think the trouble is with a lot of shady areas, they tend to be damp, and that's where a lot of slugs love it.
Yeah.
So if you put things like hostas in that area, you can sometimes struggle, unless you use things like astrulci, of course. So they are really, really great if you do have problems with slugs. They just don't like them, do they?
No, don't like them. And also great for pots as well. These you can always put ferns in, like lovely pot plants.
I love ferns.
I do. I've got loads of ferns in my garden of all different types and sizes. I've got some evergreen ferns. I've got some deciduous ferns. I've got some ferns that get like almost a metre and a half tall. I've got a little one called Blechnum spicant, which is a little deer fern that only gets like about that tall.
Yeah, I know that one.
So yeah, I love them.
And they are one of the oldest plants on the planet, going back hundreds of years, hundreds of millions of years, I should say.
Yeah.
But there is a deal coming up next that I want every single one of our regulars to go for, and that, you know, Elaine, Neil, everyone else, if you haven't got this fern already, it's a coppershield fern. Now, the price today on this one, are you ready for this? Do you know what? Stu just said it's wrong, and I was like, oh, really? Because that would not have surprised me. So, for £6.99, there, look, we put it in there, and you get a free one as well. And these are not plug plants, these are really big ferns in 2-litre pots. So if you just want to buy 2 ferns today, you can get 2 for £6.99, and you'd still get your free gift as well. But hang on, I'm just looking what we've got in our basket there for just over £20. We've got that huge Cordyline, 2 massive ferns, the free gift, and it's just over £20. Wow. Yeah,
that is, and all we've had to do is just you know, hit a few buttons. You're not even had to go out in the cold and the wet and kind of tromps around a really overcrowded garden centre. And the thing as well, Shaun, we forgot to mention, is that all our hardy plants we give that lifetime guarantee for as well.
We certainly do.
Yeah, so if they've got the little snowflake symbol, then basically that means, you know, if that plant dies for whatever reason, we'll give you that replacement. We'll replace that plant for you.
Again, if you want to join the live chat, just if you're watching us on YouTube, you can chat with us, any questions. But my word, what a deal that is. I mean, if you can tell your friends and family that YouGarden are currently doing 2 ferns for £6.99, and they're big.
Yeah, they are
huge.
big. I mean, that's what you're going to get. And even this time of year, that fern looks that nice.
That's great.
I find with the coppershield fern, I've got some in a raised bed in my garden, and they look good pretty much all the way through the winter time. And all you need to do in the spring is in the springtime, when some of the fronds or the croziers look a little bit sad, just trim them off, and probably trim them off about sort of late March time. But when you just trim the old damaged leaves off, just be sure not to nick the tops off the new little leaves that will be unfurling at the base. That's really, really important. Otherwise, you're going to spoil the new croziers that come through. But both these ferns are hardy. They'll come back year after year after year. So the hairy lip fern will take some sunshine in a drier place. The coppershield fern, great for a shady position and less sunshine as well.
Well, look, loads of you, I'm sure, are ordering that. I mean, it does not get better than this. It really doesn't. And I've worked with YouGarden for 20-odd years, and Adam has him. And you were there really near the beginning, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
That's one of the best deals we've got. Now, I'm just checking the group chats, because Bex isn't here. I need to be doing a good job. She just hogs the group, does she know? Don't let me on it, normally.
No, I'm glad Bex, because I am so not technical, so if you gave me that, I'd completely mess it up.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think Bex is a little bit quicker than me, but I'm getting there. Right, so I've just read, Neil, you had a problem with the mix and match. So we're going to show you how to do it, Neil, if that's okay. So go to the website, because we're doing a mix and match, so go to the live page, that's the best thing to do. And here they are. So Marble Queen, add that to your basket. And then go back to the same page, and you just need to put one of the others in. You can either, Neil, put in the Areum, which is that one there. And the only thing you might not have done, Neil, is entered the code. So it's YGTV 4824, and then it works out £9.99 for the pair, basically. And Neil, you get your free gift as well. So that's how you do it. So you just need to put 2 in there, any of the 2. So the Epipremnum, you've either got the Marble Queen, the Areum, or the Spider Plant as well. So any 2 of those, put them in your basket and use the code. So hopefully that should work for you now, Neil. But everyone's going mad. I mean, look, I don't know how many we've got watching right now, but I know lots of you on YouTube, Facebook, and the website. I want every single person right now to get that. 2 of those for $6.99. I've never seen a price like that.
So if you're good at maths, so if I wanted, say, 3 of these and 3 of these, 3 of each,
yeah,
what'd that cost me?
Well,
I get 4 and 4. So I get 4 and 4. Yeah, sorry, 4 and 4.
So 4 of those would be £14, and then 2 of those for a tenner. 24. So £24 for 4 of those and 2 of those.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I'll be honest though. I know the hairy lip fern is great value, but I would absolutely just fill your basket with the copper shield, because these look great planted en masse, don't they?
Yeah, they are. That's what I was just thinking just now saying that, because you might not just want one fern, because ordinarily you might go to a garden centre and you might see sort of ferns this size and they're like £11.99, 12 quid each, and you think, blimey, I can't really have half a dozen of them because that's like 70 odd quid. But now you can have half a dozen.
And there you go. If you went for 4 of the hairy lip, 4 of the copper shield, because we've gone for 2, you get 2 free. I mean, look at that. So, Adam, we've now got 8 ferns. Do you know what I'd do? I'd get some pots to go with them.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And I'm going to say loads of the pots would be ideal for the ferns, but we've also got things like the Verbena bonariensis coming up for a few pounds.
Yeah, 8 ferns for just over 40. I mean, it's just mad. And you're getting your fertiliser as well, like free.
But I've just opened for you loads of you ordering those. I mean, come on, this is our Black Friday event.
And let's just link this forward.
It does not get better than that.
Just look at it. Just look into that as well. I mean, if you look into that, how beautiful is that?
Adam, what would you, in a garden centre, what would you expect that 1 fern to cost?
I can think of a garden centre near me. They would probably charge that out at, I mean, Stu said 15 quid, but yeah, I was going to say 11.99 to 15 quid.
I was going to say the same.
Yeah,
I think 11.99 would be a very fair price for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of garden centres out there that, and again, I'm not going to mention the name, but you know, I think what they charge is absolutely appalling, really. I mean, it's ridiculous, the amount they charge for things.
Do you know what I've noticed? There's a couple of garden centres that I know, and I never see anyone buy any plants. The cafes are always heaving, but I honestly never see anyone buy any plants.
I think that's where they make the money, a lot of them now. They make the money on the sundries and the cafe.
Yeah.
People are buying everything but plants. They're buying candles and Wellingtons and kind of, you know...
That's because they buy the plants from YouGarden. So anyway, I want everyone in the group chat to let us know if you're buying the ferns, OK? Is Elaine going for some? Elaine's a good shopper, isn't she? She knows a bargain. Yeah, I think she just said 2 in the basket. So thank you. Oh, Neil's just said thanks for doing that little demo. Absolute pleasure, Neil. So I still feel guilty about not getting back to you about those houseplants, Neil, but luckily Bex did. Right, so very quickly, the ferns going absolutely crazy, but we've also got some lovely deals, Black Friday deals, on our perennials. And these are our Digitalis, the Dalmatian mix. It's in a 2-litre pot. You're saving £9. It is down to £3.99. Now, I know at this time of year foxgloves die down, Adam, but buying one in a 2-litre pot just means that next year you're going to get proper sized flowers, aren't you? Yeah,
you will. And because the thing is with these as well, the one in the pot here, you can see, it's got some sort of growth at the base there, so that will regenerate in the spring, and that will zoom away, and that will create flower spikes. Give you a flower spike.
When I've ever bought foxgloves as plug plants. In the first year, Adam, I've sometimes got flowers, but they've been short.
Yeah. I mean, well, generally, foxgloves can be what's called biennial. So you tend to get like the little rosette of foliage in the first year, and then you get the flower spike in the second year. And sometimes that's all they do. They die down. They don't come back.
Self-seed.
Yeah, they'll self-seed. But sometimes, like with our ones, when you get these like little pups, as I like to call them, at the base, they will then give you another year's flower after that. So these will flower afterwards. These are called Dalmatian mix. I'm going to say something now, which is, do you know, sometimes when you see something all the time, but then it doesn't sort of trigger, and you think, I must be a bit thick, because for ages I was thinking...
No, it's just called brain fog at our age, Adam.
But I was thinking, why Dalmatian? That's a really weird name to call
really?
it. And then they've got spots. like a Dalmatian. That's what they call it. But have you ever done that with something? It's like, it's in your face, and it just doesn't click. But and that is another elegant thing about these. But you look at those lovely spots leading up into that flower, they look great for us. But of course, what they are, they're runways for bees. That's what they are. The bees will see those in a completely different way to us, and that's telling the bee to get up into that flower and pollinate that flower. And what I really love when I'm at work, when I'm around foxgloves, when they're flowering May and June time, is when you hear all the bees inside the flowers, and it like resonates.
Yes,
and
you're right. It vibrates, isn't it?
They sound like they're on I don't know, kind of extra high sort of calorific drinks or something, because they're really buzzing away like crazy. But yeah, foxgloves are beautiful. I mean, they really are stunningly beautiful flowers.
And that price is really beautiful today as well.
Yeah, mad.
So look, this is one of the best shows we have ever done in terms of value and price for this Black Friday event. So if you are bargain hunting right now, we've got amazing plants, still the same quality. Many of them, all the winter hardy ones, still come with that lifetime guarantee, but we've just massively reduced the prices this weekend. Now, also, we have got some phlox for you. Now, we'll be honest, we're not quite sure why these have been called ground cover, because they actually go quite tall, these, don't they?
Yes, I think they're phlox. I think, is it the subulata? I think so these are your herbaceous phlox. These are your upright, tall phlox, not ground cover. They're not the carpet phlox. These are upright ones. And the good thing about...
Oh, lovely colours, aren't they?
Beautiful colours there. And the good thing about these three plants we've got in a row, the copper shield fern, the digitalis, and the phlox as well, they all do quite well in shade.
Yeah, they all do quite well together, wouldn't they?
They do, because there's not a lot of really showy, flowery perennials that do well in shade, but I've actually got phlox in my garden in a north-facing border, and every year they look absolutely magnificent. In fact, if you put them in a really super sunny border, they tend to wilt.
I was going to say they dry out, don't they?
Yeah, they dry out. They get really stressed. So if you want a stunning perennial, herbaceous perennial that will come back year after year after year, give you a good 6 weeks, 2 months, even longer's worth of colour. In fact, I sometimes got back to front there. I sometimes find with my phlox, if I deadhead them after they finish flowering, they send out little side shoots, and they'll give you another lot of flower a little later in the season. So
a fantastic perennial collection. You get all three now. When they arrive, they're not going to look a lot because they're in the process of just dying right back.
They've gone dormant. Yeah,
but. Don't worry, next year they are going to be amazing. And then one final plant that we have got for you right now, which is a personal favourite of mine, it is the Verbena bonariensis. And this is huge when you look at the size of the pot. 2 litre pot, well-established plant that is going to give you so much joy next year. And I say it's one of my favourites. I've actually got a little clip of this in my garden. I bought 6 of these from YouGarden a couple of years ago, and they've done extraordinarily well. They look amazing. So just have a look at this. Well, my patio looks a little bit severe and harsh, I think you'll agree. But if I take you around this side, I actually planted last year Verbena bonariensis, and I just love this because you still get the view, but it softens the whole border. And I just adore these like pom-poms of purple. And it's a massive one for the pollinators as well. You get so many bees just dancing around here. But Verbena bonariensis, it's often known as a transparent plant. And what it does, it really highlights other plants in your beds and borders without dominating. You can always see through it. You've got these lovely kind of, I always call them like plants that look like they've done Pilates, because you've got these long, lean kind of stems and side stems, and there's these little purple pom-poms on the edge of every one. So they never block They never dominate, they never overtake, but they complement all the other plants in the garden. Now, these are in full flower right now. Last year, I let them go to seed. I want to show you what's happened. So if you come and take a look down here, I mentioned that I let these go to seed last year. They look really attractive in the winter, but look, there are now hundreds of mini Verbena bonariensis. Look, loads and loads of these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to plant them all the way around the garden. So imagine what I've got here. I can have the other side of the patio, and then I really want, that border's a bit dull over there, so I'm just going to plant dozens of Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to look great. And all these plants were free just from the seeds from these. You know what I love? I've left all of the dead heads on the Verbena, and it actually looks really nice.
They look good covered in frost, don't they? Those flower heads. Yeah.
They're really nice. So I think, and I'm sure you'll agree with me here, Adam, I do think these work well en masse rather than just having one.
Yeah, they do. And funny enough, while you're watching it, we were just talking about you can have these en masse because these seed about really, really well. This one plant will probably give you dozens and dozens of little seedlings by the end of next summer, and you can very easily lift them and transplant them all over the garden. And yeah, a great group of these, a big group of these or a line of these is good. But good thing about these is they are a perennial, like a herbaceous perennial, but because they've got quite tall stems and small leaves, as you can see in the picture there, they don't obstruct beyond. They're not like a really dense barrier that crowds everything else out. You can look through them and you can grow things underneath them as well. Whereas, I mean, some perennials are so bushy, aren't they, and green.
Yeah, they invade.
Yeah, they invade and everything else gets pushed out. But these share really, really well. They give you really good height. And these stems are really rigid. You'll find after some really heavy rain, they sort of lean over a bit, but once they dry out, they pop back upright again. They almost never need staking. Well, you can vouch for this, Shaun. You know, your garden's quite windy at times, isn't it? Quite exposed. But they kind of move with the breeze, but they don't snap in the breeze, do they?
They are, for me, one of the best perennials, and to get it today at 3.99 is incredible. Right, really important. We are getting so busy today. Black Friday offers galore, live on YGTV with myself, Shaun and Adam Woolcott. That fern, the copperfield fern, has gone crazy. It is a buy one, get one free. So you get two for $6.99, and that is the price you'll get. So
two for $6.99.
So I would really make the most of this table. But that one, obviously, we've got masses of you ordering that. Buy one, get one free. I think about getting 4, 6, 8, doing a whole area of them. And I always think, Adam, I'm not someone that loves weeding because I live in the country. I get a lot of weeds. But if you want to plant shrubs and trees with ferns, really cuts down on the weeding.
Yeah, it does, because if you're covering the ground, you're taking away the light, you're keeping the moisture out, and yeah. So those little weed seedlings, when they land on the ground, they've got nowhere to go. They germinate, but then they just fail. You know, so it's a really, really good way of doing it.
Just while we're talking about weeds, we have got other ways of suppressing weeds. We have got our ornamental spruce bark mulch. Now, again, if you're trying to get your basket to over £40, so everything can be free delivery, this is brilliant. I've used it in some of the big planters at the tubs, Adam, just to tidy them up, because this one with the euonymus there, that is a bit diseased, I know, but I couldn't grow anything underneath it. It just really struggled. Yeah. So I've just made it look a lot prettier.
It does look good, and I'll tell you what does look good as well. Bark looks really fantastic underneath ferns. It's
of course.
That's like a marriage made in heaven. Ferns just look amazing being surrounded by bark. They just go together so well, because quite often where you see ferns growing in woodlandy areas, you get a lot of that organic kind of material around the base of them anyway. So that you know, if you want to go for some of this bark mulch to actually put on the top of your pots or around the base of the ferns, that will look amazing. And acers, ferns go brilliant with acers. Ornamental bark mulch goes great with acers as well. It's just a great way of keeping the weeds down. You can walk on the soil between the plants this time. You don't get muddy feet. No. In fact, we bought a little extra bit of, and it sounds grand, but we bought a little extra bit of land behind our current garden.
Just 20 acres, I mean, nothing much.
165 square metres, so it's not massive.
That's not bad.
It's a mud bath at the moment, and we've had a shed put in one corner, but what we've done, just so we can get to the shed and back, we've made this temporary bark mulch path. So yeah, like a trail, so we can walk to the shed and back.
Idea.
Yeah, and we don't get like a ton of mud stuck to the bottom of our shoes.
And that's what it looks like. So again, you get a big 70-litre bag. Postage is included, $49.99. Don't forget your free gift today is that brilliant blooming fast that makes 100 litres of premium plant food. Now the other item we've got, which is also great at suppressing weeds but has many, many uses, is our Strolch. And we are doing a twin pack today for just £36.97. And I always think with Strolch, this is what I call a really good egg because it has so many uses and advantages. And they're all actually listed on the packet there.
Yeah.
But first of all, Adam, when it comes to slugs and snails, it is amazing.
It is fantastic. And to be fair, the bark mulch does pretty much a lot of things that the Strolch does as well. But what the Strolch will do, as you say, it will deter those slugs and snails. And yeah, I can sort of actually vouch for this as well, because a couple of years ago I started using Strolch. And I was a little bit cynical to start with. I thought, oh, it's one of them gimmicky things. Nothing ever works against slugs and snails. Got a raised bed in my garden, which is where the ferns are. But in the front, there's hostas. I put it round my hostas. First couple of days, I was getting a little bit of bites and sort of notches and things on the hostas. After a week, that was it.
Wow,
all gone,
yeah.
finished. So now I put this all round under the hostas. And the good thing is, well, it doesn't kill the slugs and snails. So there's plenty of slugs and snails for the blackbirds and the thrushes to eat, but they just hate crawling across it. It just gives them a really creepy sensation, and they don't want to go on it.
So still means that you're not killing the slugs, that they're still there to benefit things like your hedgehogs and certain birds and things, but protects plants that slugs love, suppresses weeds.
It's like a duvet as well in the winter time.
Yeah, I was going to say, it gives extra protection, doesn't it?
Yeah,
for sort of like half-hardy plants.
Yeah, so for instance, dahlias. I mean, many years ago we always lifted dahlia tubers, didn't we? But these days we tend to have milder winters. But just to be doubly sure, if you put a nice mound of this over the top of things like dahlia tubers, it stops the frost getting down to those tubers and rotting them off underground. Also, if you've got this between your plants this time of year, you can walk between the plants. You don't get muddy feet. And then fast forward 6 months, nice thick layer of this keeps the moisture in the soil.
Yeah.
We get one of those really heavy thundery downpours in the summer. It doesn't bounce all the soil all over to your patio and splash it everywhere. Suppresses the weeds. And at the end of the day, it looks amazing. It really looks fantastic, because it's not, if you've got like what I call sort of Monty Don kind of soil, that perfect, beautiful soil, it's fine. But if you've got really horrible stony soil with all bits in it and the soil's really unattractive, well, you don't want to see that soil, do you? But so a nice layer of Strolch on top in between. It's almost like putting a beautiful carpet between your plants, and it all looks even, it highlights the plants, and it does all those other wonderful things to boot. God,
it's such a good product. Great reviews on our website as well. And don't forget, if you're one of our 45,000 club members, you get it for just £33.27 with free delivery and your free blooming fast as well. 101.49. Gina, we're having such a good show. Thank you so much to everyone. Neil, I will get Adam to answer your questions in a few moments' time. But we have also got a cracking deal on our Phoenix canariensis, often known as the Canary Island date palm. This is a great one for the UK, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's not just a case of Phoenix nights. You can have this sort of Phoenix nights and during the daytime as well. This can be a permanent palm in the UK, and I've seen some whopping great big ones of these as well. Down near where my husband's parents lives in Kent, there's a massive one outside somebody's front door. The trunk is as tall as me, and the leaves are probably about 8, 9, 10 foot long.
Really?
Yeah, so they can get through British winters, and they can get to be that really mature size. If you're in a colder area, grow them in a pot, and then you can keep them out the worst of the weather during the winter time. But in milder kind of parts of the UK, especially down on the south coast, parts of London, inner city areas, west coast, for example, these will get through probably the vast majority of winters. The bigger they get, the harder they get. We're saying normally they're hardy down to about -4, -5. Really, really drought tolerant. All they ask of you is full sun. That's what they like. The most open, sunniest position possible. Super well drained soil. Other than that, they're pretty undemanding.
Yeah. And in terms of like keeping them in shape, just the bottom leaves, every now and again they'll get a little bit tatty. Just chop those off with a nice sharp pair of secateurs, and that's what creates that trunk. But I always think this is one of the really exotic plants you can have in the UK that's really low maintenance.
Yeah, they are. Just one little thing to look out for, and it's no big deal really. If you do chop the lower leaves off, they can be, the very lower leaves can be a bit spiky,
yeah.
so just put a nice pair of gloves on. But the top parts, fine, they're really tactile. They're no problem at all, and they're evergreen. They look this beautiful all the year through.
Yeah. I love it. One of the nicest palms to grow in the UK, 680005. Now we have got for you the most stunning hydrangea next. Under £10, normally about £30. Occasionally we do this for £24.99. It will arrive in a 3-litre pot. Now obviously, I say obviously, but if you know your hydrangeas, you will also know that in December they look like this. They will have lost the leaves probably, but by planting it now, next year, this is going to be phenomenal, isn't it, Adam?
It will be, and actually, I actually understood why they called this one Matterhorn as well, because it does look like the Matterhorn. It looks like that mountain, that pure white mountain. It's got that conical shape to it, and these are spectacular.
Oh, it's a beauty, isn't it?
Good thing about these type as well, these are your paniculata type of hydrangeas as well, which are really easy to prune. So you can prune these in the same year that they'll flower. Some of the other types, the mop head types, they're a bit more difficult to prune. These, say next spring you've got one of these already and it's a little bit too tall, cut it down to where you want it to be. All the new shoots that come will flower for you the same year, so no worries about pruning, really straightforward.
That's what I love about them, Adam, because sometimes, as you say, it is a bit tricky. People say, oh, when do I prune my hydrangea? And, oh, why hasn't it flowered this year? But because it's always flowers on the new growth, you could chop it right down, can't you?
Yeah, and these are magnificent. There's a pub on my way to where I work in Hertford. There's a pub when I drive into Hertford, and all the way around the base of this pub, they've got a whole row of these. And when they're in full flower, wow, they look amazing. I mean, the heads are this size. I mean, they are really huge heads of flower that look great for weeks. And quite often, as the flowers start to go over, sometimes you get other little hints and tones come in as well as the flower starts to sort of go over.
It's greens, a
little bit of pink. Yeah. So, and that itself is interesting. You know, like hawthorn in the spring. Hawthorn is pure white, isn't it, to start with? And as it goes over, it goes that sort of pinky colour. These have a sort of a similar habit. And
I love what Adam was saying there. Hydrangeas, mass planting of them can look magnificent. I know Elaine bought, I think she bought about 5 of these the other week. So they are only £9.99. You're saving £20 on each one. Club members, you get them for £8.99. And now is a brilliant time. I'm not being funny, but if it was the middle of summer and we were selling this in flower in a pot, we could easily charge that £30 recommended retail price.
Yeah.
But to buy it now, to get it planted, because they're fully winter hardy, so as long as the ground isn't frozen, as long as it's not, thick snow where you are, get it in the ground right now, and you're going to have the most magical displays next year and for many, many years to come. And this one doesn't grow too big, does it? About a metre or so?
Yeah, about a metre and a half. You can use these as cut flowers as well.
Yeah.
They make really quite dramatic cut flowers. They really are an easy shrub to give real drama. And again, all I'd say is with these is sometimes you think about putting hydrangeas in shade. These like a little bit of sunshine, so put these somewhere nice and bright, reasonably sunny, moist soil, and these won't let you down. Shaun said winter hardy, so again you get that lifetime guarantee on these as well, which is always great.
Just quickly, just while we're talking about plants in our garden, we're talking about when to prune this. Neil's just said, could Adam tell me, I'm going to see if you agree with me on this one, when to trim back my Gora Sister Pink and his Barnsley Baby, the Lavatera?
Right, Gora, I would never prune Gora too severely this time of year. I would just take a little bit off the top, just so, because they can rock about in the wind. So just take about half off the top, just to stop the wind resistance, but don't go too severe, because I've found in the past if you take Gora down too low this time of year and you get a really wet cold winter, you lose the whole plant. So just halfway down, wait till about mid-end of April, and much further down you'll see little dark red little shoots start to come. Just wait for those to start to develop a little bit, then take any dead growth off down to that new growth, and they'll come back really, really well for you. And the same with the Lavatera. Don't go mad on that either. Just sort of round it off a little bit, take the wind resistance out of it. Wait till next spring. Wait till you see the new shoots further down on the branches growing, growing vigorously. Then you can take the old tatty winter wood away, and the plant will grow back and look fab for summer.
Yeah, and I was going to say exactly the same, because sadly I did learn the hard way with my Gora as well. Yeah,
yeah, go gentle on those.
And my lavender, I sometimes left my lavender a bit late to prune, and the frost got it. So thank you, Adam, and thank you, Neil, for that question. Right, we have also got some amazing deals on pots, because loads of you buying the ferns, the cordylines, things like the Canary Island date palm. So you might need some new pots, and the bulbs that we had earlier. Now we've got a tiny amount of the medley planters left. These are the biggest. About 40 centimetres these, well exactly 40 centimetres actually, and it's a buy one get one free. They're actually nearly as big as the heavy duty pots, but obviously a bit more attractive. But they would be fabulous for even, actually Adam.
These are grand, aren't they?
They're very grand. I'm just going to try the fern, the copper shield fern. I'm just going to bring that across, because I'm thinking, Adam, this is a centrepiece, and loads of you going for the copper shield ferns. That in the middle.
That looks good.
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah, that looks amazing.
With a few spring bulbs around it, or some hellebores. But that, look at that.
Yeah, the contrast, Shaun, those beautiful, beautiful green leaves against that sort of grey, silvery grey kind of burnished look on that pot looks absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, that's a beautiful mix. And I was thinking as well, should we drop the Cordyline in there as well? Because I think that could work.
I think it'd be rude not to try that one.
Oh yes!
Oh yes!
Oh yes! That's nice. That looks good.
I mean, that's amazing. And bear in mind that the pots, it's buy one get one free. So your pot's costing you £7.50 for club members. The Cordyline is £7. I mean, that's just ridiculous value, isn't it?
I mean, obviously it'd be slightly higher up in the pot. You'd plant it kind of about that high up in the pot. But look at that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think the colour of these pots is great, because it just creates that fantastic contrast with pretty much whatever you put in there, really.
That really works, doesn't it?
That works good. I'm just trying to think, should we try the red one? I'm not sure the red one will work so well, but let's just give it a go. Let's have a look, see what we think. I mean, I might be completely wrong, but...
do you know, I think it would if you had the white gravel like you suggested.
If you had some nice sort of contrasting gravel around the base of it. But I think that could be quite sophisticated.
I agree.
If you underplanted it with something nice and green or bright as well, or even some moss.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now we are getting busy. It is our Black Friday event. Some amazing savings. The other pots we've got, because I know a lot of you were buying the bulbs and buy one get two free earlier. The Kiki pots. These are lovely. So they're like a terracotta look, but the great thing is, you really can't break those, can you?
You can.
They'd be really hard
and
to
you're
break.
trying. And I just thought of Hector's house as well when you said that, because you remember Zaza and Kiki in Hector's house.
I never watched Hector's house.
Oh, I loved it. I think Kiki was a cat and Zaza was the frog, and then there was Hector, the big bad dog.
No, I never watched it as a kid.
I used to love it.
You're a bit older than me, Adam.
Not that much. You're catching up fast.
Yeah, I know I am. I'll tell you I am.
But these are beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think you could put houseplants in these. If you've got a saucer underneath, because obviously you need a saucer because they've got holes in the bottom. But I think some of the houseplants will look really nice in these as well. These are beautiful.
But they're just very natural looking. So you've got all the benefits of the look of terracotta, that natural finish, but without the worries of them being damaged by frost, knocking them over and breaking them. Yes, they're UV stable as well, but they really do look like an aged terracotta, don't they?
Bit like ourselves. What you could do with these, Shaun, as well, those beautiful packs of bulbs that we've got, they'd look great there, wouldn't they?
Really good.
Crocuses in one, the little tete-a-tete, the Chionodoxa in one of the others, and then you've got that beautiful little collection there of pots just to put on your patio. Yeah, these are brilliant. But as you say, tough as old boots as well. Really, really tough plant. Pots, not plants.
But it is a buy one get two free, don't forget. And that is only £8.99. Now we've also got the Torinos for you. Again, these are great little pots for bulbs, I've seen herbs planted in these. And what is nice, I think when you use smaller pots, again, it takes you 2 minutes to plant them, but they're very easy to move around and rotate, and that's what I tend to do.
That's a good thing, because when you've got really big pots, you tend to leave them where they are, don't you? Because they're heavy to move about, and you know, sometimes you can get a bit bored with that kind of same display of pots. But something like this, it gives you that choice to augment it, doesn't it, and change it, and kind of just create that sort of new look. And as you say, in the spring, this could be your tater-tate, this could be crocuses, this could be the little tulips, little
they'd be nice.
rock garden tulips.
The rock garden ones.
And of course, once they've gone over, then you can think about your summer bedding in these.
And I mean, price-wise, $3.99, but it's a buy one and get two absolutely free. So club members, it's $1.20 a pot. I know.
Yeah, plastic
That's when
pots.
my voice went high there, Adam. I was because the value is so good. I know. I was so surprised. £1.20.
Little influx of helium there.
Yeah, but they are absolutely amazing value and really, really attractive. And I think the Torino planters lend themselves to modern gardens, but traditional ones.
And that's a good thing.
The
good thing about these pots is I used to hate plastic pots. I've always said that. I was really honest with people. I couldn't stand plastic pots. You used to see the seam, the joins, where they come off the blow mould. You see the little wafy bits of plastic coming off the bottom.
They used to be, if you're our sort of age, they were horrible, weren't they?
They were naff.
They were.
Really naff. These, I mean, even though these pots are small, it's the detailing, you know, the little kind of horizontal stripes around the base there, just give that added feature, the little rim round the top. I mean, everything about these, that burnished kind of look on the corner. In fact, I always say, if you had these in your front garden somewhere and somebody was whizzing past on their way to work, you wouldn't think these were plastic, would you?
Never. They really look like a metal planter. But what we also love about our planters, generally speaking, they all have fantastic drainage, and we do get obviously wetter seasons nowadays, and most plants hate being sat in water and being waterlogged. Not all, but most do, don't they? That gives you fantastic drainage. Really important for things like your bulbs, of course, as well. So that's 132.72. It's a buy one, get two free. What else we got, Adam?
We're getting the pineapple ones, aren't we?
Pine cone.
Pine cone, sorry, pine, yeah. You were saying, Shaun, that, just about the fantastic drainage on these pots, which is really, really important, but also, good thing about plastic pots is they don't wick away moisture as much in the summer, because the terracotta pots, on a hot summer's day, they can dry out so quick, because the moisture just gets wicked out. These pots will keep the moisture in longer, especially if you've got a bit of strolch or a bit of bark mulch over the top as well. That'll keep the moisture in even more. These are beautiful, aren't they?
Two sizes. Adam's got the 11 inches there, and again, it's a buy one get one free at $9.99, 130.027. Amazing value. I've got the slightly bigger one, which is the 13 inches. I know you're going to think mine's going to be more expensive, but we're actually doing it for the same price today, which is really good. I mean, buy the size you need, but the 13 inches is even better value today.
Yeah, and these to me look almost a bit oriental, kind of a bit of a Japanese, Chinese kind of influence, or sort of temple. Yeah, Buddhist temple kind of look. They've got that kind of feel to them, haven't they? And again, look at the detailing on these, Shaun. Somebody hasn't just mass-produced kind of. I like that.
Well, yeah. The studio said, don't move. And I was like, why? What's wrong? But that's what the Cordyline would look like in it. Look, see? Actually, I mean, the Cordyline...
Well, should we do it? Should we do it for real?
It would be happening there for a couple of years, wouldn't it, Adam?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for the first couple of years, no problem at all.
That looks great, doesn't it?
Let's try the... I'm determined to find a home for this one today. I think, again, look at that. Yeah. That looks nice in there. In fact, that looks quite high end, actually. Though it doesn't contrast brilliantly, but again, some sort of contrasting gravel. And this Cordyline would be quite happy in there for the first couple of years, and then you could just transplant it on. Or should we try one of the ferns?
Oh, the ferns look great.
Yeah, should we try one of the copper shield ferns?
So just to remind everybody, it is our Black Friday event right now with YouGarden. Amazing deals. If you spend over £40, you'll get free postage as well. But the fern, this is the copper shield fern, which is going crazy. It's $6.99, but a buy one get one free. So I'll give you the details, because honestly, if you're going to buy anything today, then I'm going to say then that you've got to buy the copper shield fern at 561202. The Verbena's been selling really well as well, actually, the Verbena bonariensis. But yeah, they look amazing, Adam. Don't they?
They're beautiful, aren't they, those ferns?
Yeah, really good.
And these pots, again, it's the same old story. These, Shaun, UV stable, frost resistant. really, really strong, robust pots as well, but lightweight. So if you've got a roof garden, if you've got a terrace, if you've got a balcony, somewhere where you can't have really, really heavy pots, or you're not as dexterous or as strong as you used to be, these are easy to move about. Great lip around the top as well.
So nice and easy to move around. 561201. Now we have got a really, really brilliant deal on a Callistenum now. And I'll be honest, Adam, I didn't know this variety even existed until recently.
It's unusual, isn't it?
I've never ever seen it. I mean, I've had the traditional Callistenum in the red. I've occasionally seen the pink one.
Yes.
But is this one you've come across? It's called honeypot.
No, I haven't seen this one, to be honest. Not in the flesh. I mean, I've seen a picture of it, but yeah, I've never actually seen this flowering.
So it is quite a rare one.
Yeah, well, I've not seen it around. So I've seen the pink, I've seen the orange, I've even seen a white flowering Callistenum as well. But this one is, this is kind of off the scale, isn't it? This is really unusual. It's like a sort of a limey, yellowy green, isn't it? Really, really unusual. A good thing about Callistenum is, first of all, you've got the evergreen foliage, which is always nice, so they look good all the year through. They love really good drainage. They love full sun, so very similar to the Phoenix canariensis. But of course, you get the drama of these bottle brush flowers over a long period of time, and the bees and the pollinating insects. Well, probably that's what called honeypot, because the bees will go berserk for this. All that nectar and pollen and stuff for there to get themselves wrapped up in. They'd love it.
Now, we do see with Callistenum, hardly about, I say about what, -4, Adam?
-4, -5. You can see there the bees there have gone mad for it. But I mean, I've seen, again, Callistemons, the more mature they get, the hardier they get. So I've seen some really quite mature Callistemons in a really bad winter had the external foliage a little sort of knocked back a little bit, frosted, but come the spring, a little bit of a trim. They shoot back from further down and they keep going. But they make fantastic pot plants. So if you're in a really, really cold area, you can plant this in a pot, and then it doesn't need to be anywhere warm in the winter. So say, for instance, we've got some extreme weather coming and they're saying, oh, it could be a -10. Well, you could just put this somewhere where it's going to drop down to about -1, and that will be fine. Yeah. It doesn't need to be mollycoddled at 21 degrees. So just something like that will keep it going through. But I mean, it's worth that little bit of extra effort just for the drama and the unusualness of this incredible flower.
I think it's fab. I really do. And say, I've never ever seen this particular colour before. And I'm glad it wasn't just me, because Adam said that Bex was the same. Well, I didn't know that colour even existed.
But that's gardening all the time. I mean, there's so many fantastic growers across the planet now, breeding new plants, cross-pollinating, coming up with new sort of varieties and types all the time. So yeah, it's great sometimes when something unusual comes up. I mean, I remember in the day when delphiniums could only ever be blue. I mean, you could never have any other colour. Now we get pink and red delphiniums. Yeah. Who'd have thought? I mean, you can get yellow busy lizzies now. Who'd have thought that? So yeah, times move on, and breeders come up with different plants all the time.
Well, don't forget, if you really want to take advantage of these prices, get that in your basket. But to get all the special offers, you always need to use that off code YGTV4824. We've still got loads to show you, but we are busy today. I mean, Black Friday weekend is always huge. It really is. But we have massively reduced prices to have so many of the plants that we've got on offer.
Can I just say, when is the actual Black Friday? Because it seems to go on for about six weeks.
It was. Most of our offers end on Tuesday, but officially it was Friday.
It was Friday just gone, right?
But we've kind of done like a lot of retailers. We've done like a week's event, but our event does finish on Tuesday. Just to let everyone know. Right, let's remind you of some of the great deals we've had so far today on YGTV with myself, Shaun Ryan, and Adam Woolcott. So this has been really popular. I'm so pleased. It's one of my absolute favourite perennials, known as Verbena bonariensis. So that's part of my garden there. And I planted 6 of these a couple of years ago, and I can honestly say that side of the garden has been transformed. It was really harsh, and now you still get the view. I can still look across the grass and still see, I'm very blessed with lovely views, but look how incredible the Verbena is. Now, it's very easy to grow. It likes a nice sunny position, well-drained soil. What I tend to do, I leave all the flowers on, and then over the winter, they still have a lovely structure to them. It often self-seeds as well, so you might get some free plants from that one as well. but it is the most beautiful, beautiful plants. And it will grow, because you're already getting a big one in a 17 centimetre pot. I would not be surprised if yours grows to about 1.5 metres next year. So loads of you going for that. Reduced from there, $12.99 to $3.99. All you club members, $3.59. Then we also brought you, I mean, come on, $6.99 for this. This is the Cordyline Lime Passion in the 17 centimetre pot. So it is big. It's really, really well established. You're going to get here a cordyline that isn't just big, but it is beautiful at the same time as well. You've got these absolutely wonderful colours here, so greens and limes. It's a spectacular plant, and I would definitely go for a pair of those if you can. $6.99, normally £20, a Black Friday deal that is unbelievable. Love that one. Then we also brought you the other cordyline, which is the red star, the little red star, the Australis, and just as beautiful, but a really rich kind of deep burgundy red on this one. $6.80, down from £20 for the Black Friday event, £6.99. I do love all these buys, don't you? Really do. Then one of the most beautiful hydrangeas, and this is the Magical Matterhorn. Now, it's one of the easiest to grow as well, because you can cut this right back and it will still flower in the same year, because it flowers on the new growth. The flowers on here are that wonderful paniculata. So they're big cones and they're huge. They're absolutely huge. They're ginormous. You'll also get colour changing flowers. So they may at some points look white and then other times look cream. There's a little bit of green in there as well, a bit of pink. Absolutely beautiful. And down from, I mean, these are normally £30. It is a premium hydrangea, and you're going to get it for $9.99, and they will flower next year. All they need is say, we sort of, let's say, semi-shady area. You want it nice and moist. You don't want somewhere that dries out all the time, and that will produce the most beautiful, beautiful flowers for many, many months in the summer. I would buy several of those. They look really good on mass. 501, 551. Then we brought you the Phoenix canariensis. I know this as the Canary Island date palm, and it actually can do really well in the UK, this one. So yes, you'll see it in the Canaries, in Fuerteventura and Tenerife, Gran Canaria, La Palma. I always forget the other one.
Eliero.
Ah, yes.
And La Gomera.
La Gomera, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Adam. There are many islands in the Canaries, but the great thing is you can grow it in the UK. I've seen these do really well in Halifax. So 680005. And what will happen, I mean, look, it's not going to grow probably as big as the one that you've seen there, although there is one on the Isle of Wight that is huge. But over the years, it does produce like a pineapple sort of like base to it as it ages, and it's just a beautiful palm that grows very well in the UK. 680005. Then we brought you the most amazing deals on some of my favourite plants, which are our ferns. Now, this is a Chiolanthus lanosa, but I know it as the hairy lip fern. Put two in your basket, you'll get them for $9.99. And loves a shady spot, but will tolerate some sunshine. This one is evergreen, it's compact, it's one of the smaller ferns, and it is on a double up deal. But we have got another great offer on our ferns. This one is known as the copper shield fern, because as the new growth appears, it's like this lovely copper red. Now, this particular fern is on a buy one get one free for $6.99. Now, you're normally paying £13 each, so normally you'd be paying £26 for two. If you order today, and these are going really fast, so everyone that's thinking about getting these, get them in your basket now. It is a buy one, get one free, and they're beautiful ferns, pretty much evergreen, so in most places they stay evergreen. If it's really cold, they may die back slightly. Again, they do really well in shady spots. The slugs don't like them, they are easy to grow, but they give them a spectacular displays, and that value is the best I have ever seen. I truly mean that. I'm not being funny. If I didn't have lots of these already, I'd be buying more. And that is 561201. And yes, you can grow them very nicely in pots as well. Then we brought you a very unusual callistemon in terms of colour. It's called the honey pot, and it's a lovely kind of like limey, creamy callistemon. Now, the the butterflies, the bees, they love these. So they're great for the pollinators, but they look really, really exotic. They start to flower normally sort of May time. Do give them a little bit of protection in the winter. We say hardy to about -4, but obviously with this being quite a young plant, just keep your eye on it. Now we've also got some amazing deals on houseplants today as well. And I love a houseplant, I really, really do. I've got about 80, 85 houseplants, I know. I've bought lots more recently, I really have. I think it's because I've been doing more. We do quite a lot of TikTok lives now. In fact, Adam and I have got one this afternoon. So if you download the TikTok app, you can watch us live from 1:30 till 3:30. But we've got some amazing deals on now on YGTV. Where do you want to start? I think we should start with a mix and match, don't you? This is one that Neil went for.
Yeah, beautiful.
So basically, there are 6 plants here, and the reason we've got 6 is it's a mix and match. So you can either go for 2 of the Epipremnum areum, which is that one there. That's like the yellowy, sort of like green one. So you could go for 2 of those, or you could put 1 of those in your basket with something else. Also in the mix and match, we've got the spider plant. And then finally, we have got the Epipremnum Marble Queen, which is, I'll put the 2 together. So areum is Adam's favourite, that's slightly yellowy. My favourite is the Marble Queen, which is a little bit more creamy. But any 2 of these, 2 of the same, 2 completely different plants, you'll get for just £9.99, or say, if you're our club member, you get those for about £9. And these are very easy plants.
They're really very easy to grow. You know what I do, Shaun, myself, because I like to kind of experiment. I would plant one of those and one of those in the same pot. So you got the 2 colours mixing together, and they'll probably be fine in a big enough pot because they're tough as old boots. Those plants, Epipremnum. So I'm sure, as I say, we used to call those Scindapsus or Devil's Ivy.
Yeah. But I always knew it as Devil's Ivy as a child.
But you can grow these up on moss poles, for example, or you can have them trailing down. Either or, they're brilliant.
And what is amazing about these, they really are pretty hard to kill, and I don't say that lightly, but they will tolerate being underwatered for a while. I mean, I'd forgotten about one of mine recently, and one day I looked at it, I thought, ooh, that looks bit, and it just drooped. Yeah. And I gave it a water, perked up really quickly. I'll be honest, it lost a leaf. One of the leaves went yellow.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it, really? But to be honest, they will suffer if you overwater them. So generally, most houseplants will survive being underwatered. They won't survive being overwatered. So if you're somebody who forgets to water house plants, these are ideal because they'll be fine. As I say, and the spider plants, again, they can go quite a long time. They've got really fleshy roots that they can draw on for moisture. But you'll know eventually when a spider plant's really fed up with being dry, because it will eventually.
It will really flop, won't it?
And the leaves start to go a bit sort of translucent and a bit kind of yellowy off-looking colour. But you give them a good soak and they'll come back. All of these are really bomb-proof kind of house plants. I would say these are great if you've got a son or a daughter that's just moved into a new home somewhere, or I don't know, just moved into a halls of residence and they want to have some sort of house plants, in their room or something, somewhere like that, or perhaps an older relative who doesn't remember to water things quite so much, but you want them to have some nice house plants.
And if you've got friends and family staying at Christmas time, then I also think it's nice to make the bedrooms look really attractive. Just a couple of these in a bedroom will look absolutely amazing. But it is a double-up deal. 2 plants for £9.99, amazing value, and so very easy to graft out. And I said earlier, the Epipremnum will tolerate low light as well, but it does better in bright light. And Adam made a really good point. If you put this in a sort of like slightly shady corner, it will still survive there, but it might lose some of its fantastic variegation on the leaves. But I love that one, really do. Got that one myself, and it is a double-up deal, 2 for £9.99. Right, Adam and I are known for our 6-packs. When I say 6-packs, we're known for our amazing 6-packs of plants. And we've actually got 6 house plants for you now. It's called the Variety Mix for £29.99, or for club members, £26.99. Do you know what, Adam? You've just picked up the Cordyline there, or I know it's Joseph's coat. That plant alone, if you saw that, I think for £20 in a garden centre, I don't think you think, That's the wrong price, would you?
You wouldn't, no. I mean, this plant is huge. I mean, this is a fantastic specimen. Look at the colour on this. I mean, goodness me, you don't need flowers on this. You've got reds, you've got oranges, you've got greens, you've got yellows, you've got that incredible variegation. I mean, it's almost like a plant somebody's made up. I mean, it looks extraterrestrial, to be honest, because it's so unusual looking. But yeah, a real sort of dramatic plant, this one. Give it lots of nice, bright light. Most houseplants don't like to be baked with hot sun straight through the winter, especially in midsummer. This time of year you don't need to worry. This time of year you can get your plants as near to the window as possible, providing there's no drafts, because they like as much natural light as possible, and we're almost at the lowest point now, aren't we, for the sun. But yeah, this is beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
It is. And great, it likes, ideally, it is a plant that likes to be in a humid room, ideally, so kitchens, bathrooms. But I've had mine in a bedroom, it's been absolutely fine there.
Yeah, stunning plant, really amazing.
That's one out of the 6. You also get the Ficus elastica, but I know it as the rubber plants.
Whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant. But you've got high hopes.
What? I'm lost.
Whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant.
Oh, yes.
But he has high hopes.
Yes, sorry. Yes, I'm with you now. There you go. It's a lovely plant. I've seen these, I mean, when you see these in their native countries like India, they're huge and they're like...
Oh, they're mad, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know, even down in the south of Spain, I've seen these in those big squares they have grow into proper-sized trees with trunks
beautiful,
that wide. Yeah, mad. They're not going to do that in the UK, obviously.
No, but they make a really nice houseplant.
Yeah, they do. But we've got some really gorgeous friends. Pauline and Richard live in Suffolk, and they've got a huge, beautiful conservatory. But they've got a new one now, but before they replaced it, they had a rubber plant and they grew it up and all the way along, and it became multi-branched.
Wow.
And it was knockout. I mean, unfortunately, they couldn't save it when they sort of changed over the conservatory. But these grow really quick. They're really tough. They're really easy to grow. They don't mind a bit of low light. Always got those beautiful glossy leaves.
Yeah, look at those.
Yeah, and that will grow quite quickly as well. They're not slow growers, these. They're quite fast growing.
Little tip, do keep dusting the leaves so it can photosynthesize. So, every now and again, get your microfiber cloth out, give them a good dust. Now, I've also got, I know this is a parlour palm, nice and easy to grow, very slow growing. These don't go too big. No,
I mean, probably about sort of 50 centimetres kind of max. Don't keep these too wet either. These are happier being kept on the drier side than the wet side. If you keep them too wet, you'll suddenly find that the leaves just drop over, and that's because they've rotted off at the base. So keep them on the drier side. Again, they don't need lots and lots of light. I mean, they don't want to be in the dark, but they're happy for sort of low light. Really,
I love them.
They're stunning. I mean, they were massive favourites with the Victorians. Hence the name. I mean, they would have them in the parlour. Yeah, so that's how the name came about.
We have got 2 Dracaenas in the collection. We have got the Dracaena marginata, which is that one with those lovely kind of pink edges, and the compacta, which is that one there. Again, a lot of people know this as dragon trees. Very easy to grow, but very attractive, aren't they?
Yeah, both of these are really, really stunning. The one, the one with this one here with the red edges, that will actually almost create like a false palm tree effect, because the stems grow up and then they drop off the lower leaves, so to give you like a false palm tree effect, whereas this one stays sort of more compact and more squat. But both stunning houseplants. And then we've got this one.
Yay,
I love this one. This is so tactile. This is like asparagus fern, Asparagus sprengerii. I've got this at home. In fact, I've got it outside in my greenhouse because it got really big where I had it. But it flowered, has little, gorgeous little white flowers, and now it's covered in berries, loads of lovely little berries. So this is a beautiful plant. You just want to keep stroking it because it's got that really tactile feel to it.
And when they really get going, as you're saying, when some of the new growth comes, sometimes it can be like a metre or so, and it looks amazing, just cascading. I've got one of these on my windowsill in my bathroom, and it goes all the way down now and almost touches the floor.
Yeah, they are amazing. Great. All I do with mine is occasionally you get the odd little kind of yellow leaves, but all I do with mine is once in a bloom, and I just take it outside and I just give it a really good shake like that, and that just knocks off any old kind of yellowy leaves, and then it keeps going. But honestly, this is probably one of the most bomb-proof, one of the toughest, hardiest, easiest houseplants you could possibly grow.
In terms of value, if you are a club member, most of you are, £26.99. It works out about £4.50 a houseplant. And when you look at the size, the quality, I mean, houseplants More than ever, I think nowadays. In terms of popularity, they are at their peak right now. A lot of younger generations, they know the benefits of houseplants. I think, yes, they're known to really, really help in terms of air purification. But I think in terms of well-being, just having houseplants around you, particularly in the winter months, it makes you feel so good, doesn't it?
Well, like you, Shaun, I've got dozens and dozens of houseplants, and when my hubby go to garden centres, I really have to fight not to buy more houseplants. Well, when I come here and when I watch you or Bex on TikTok, I want to order the plants, but I've got no more space. But you can always find a space.
Well, sadly, since we've been doing houseplants with YouGarden, I have bought lots more. I say sadly, I'm really pleased because I love them. Right, the other collection we've got, so that's a value collection, 6 stunners, $26.99 for club members. For those of you that got pets, we have got a pet-friendly selection where you get 3 plants that are known to be really pet-friendly with cats and dogs. 3 really cool plants. And I have to say the Tenanthe Bill Marxii, which is the one that Adam's holding right now, I know it as the fishbone prayer plant. That is a beauty, isn't it?
It is a stunner. I think this used to be called Marenta years ago as well, but again, the name's changed. Look at this. I mean, this is just mind-blowing, isn't it, this plant? This plant carries out something called nyctinisty as well, which means certain times of the day, the leaves roll up. They just roll up on themselves, and that's a way of the leaf protecting itself at night against sort of munching herbivores at night or keeping moisture in. Various reasons these plants do it. Look at the markings. You can see where the kind of the fishbone sort of idea came in when you look at the markings on the leaves there.
It's a nice, easy one. Not difficult.
I've got this because what I've done with my house plants is I've got them all in not all of them, but I've got a lot of them in a big group in front of the patio doors in one corner. So all the ones that love the sun are right at the front, and towards the back are the ones that need more shade. And one of these is at the back, and it has gone mad. I mean, I bought it as a little tiny plant in a little weeny pot, but it's really, really taken off. And when you turn this round the other way, look at that underneath. I mean, it's like a different plant. I mean, underneath it's purple. So you've gone from this. It's like a magic trick from this to that. Look at that. Isn't that remarkable? Really, really incredible. And I like the fact that it's got that nicely spread out growth as well, which is really, really fantastic. And then down at the front, Boston fern, or Nephrolepsis Boston fern. I've got a huge one of these Boston ferns in my bathroom, on my bathroom windowsill, that I absolutely adore. I got that. I watched Bex on TikTok. Couldn't resist it. As soon as Bex took it down off the shelf, and I just saw this huge plant, and I thought that would look amazing on the bathroom windowsill. So that's where it sits. It loves the humidity from the shower. It loves that sort of dappled light coming through the frosted glass of the bathroom window. And naturally, this grows sort of in the southern states, so kind of really swampy, sort of hot kind of areas, down at ground level where it gets diffused light. So really, really gorgeous plant. And then you've got your spider plant, which is, again, bulletproof, bomb-proof, really, really easy to grow. If you've got like some sons or daughters, like a student somewhere, and you want to get them a plant that's easy to grow, can take a little bit of neglect, and you can even try and grow these outside.
So those are, say, the pet-friendly plants for those of you that have got pets. Right, we have got a few more Black Friday deals, and we've had a request for this one, actually, the jade plant. A Cushla avata. Some people call it the jade plant. Some people call it the money plant.
Yeah.
And it is only $4.99. And this, a lot of the plants that we've been talking about, Adam said, keep out of direct sunlight. This is one that actually would love to be in the sunniest window possible, wouldn't it?
It would. And I tell you where you see these, you quite often see these in Chinese restaurants.
Yes, you do.
Where I go, I drive through a place called Brandon in the morning on the way to work, and there's a Chinese restaurant in Brandon, and they have got 2 massive ones of these in the window. I mean, they've got a trunk about 6 inches wide. They're about a metre and a half tall, and they do flower. They have lovely little kind of pinky white flowers when they mature. But apparently, I think Chinese tradition kind of says, if you have one of these, they bring you brings you fortune, it brings you wealth
and prosperity.
Can't promise that,
but very easy to grow. With it being a succulent, you can let it completely dry out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave it for weeks without water.
You can. But full sun, because if you put things like this in shade, they become what's called etiolated. They become really leggy and spindly. The leaves start to drop off. Etiolated. That's etiolated. That's a word that refers to plants when they're in shade
When
and they
they're
don't want to be. They become really leggy and weak and spindly.
So full sun, let it dry out between waterings. Very easy. It's slow growing, I want to say, though, Adam. Slow to moderate, would you say?
Slow to moderate, but really, you just plonk it down, you leave it, and that's all you've got to do.
Yeah.
And if you didn't water this for 6 months, it would still be fine. It might drop the odd leaf to try and conserve moisture, but really, really easy
and
plant.
It's only $4.99.
And it's beautiful. Look at the red on the edge of the leaves there, Shaun. That lovely red edging. Isn't that beautiful? Stunning.
It's gorgeous. And known as jade plant because obviously jade is known to be a lucky gemstone as well, but it does look like jade. So that's another one you might want to go for.
I've got a lovely friend called Jade.
Have you?
I have, yeah. She's lovely.
It's a nice name, Jade, isn't it? And just quickly, one of my favourite plants, I'm just going to pop that one down for a second, is the Monstera monkey leaf type of cheese plant, but a far more compact version. This, and we've got hundreds of plants at YouGarden. I think this is one of the most attractive houseplants I've ever seen.
It's also called monkey mask as well, is another name, and allegedly.
Oh God, I didn't know.
Where this grows kind of in sort of jungle areas, people allegedly say that when sort of the monkeys are up in trees and they're looking out for predators, they hide behind these leaves and look through the leaves. So they're kind of camouflaged by the leaf, but they can still see through it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But
so this one. We had a cheese plant as children, but it was the Monstera deliciosa, the big one, the big one, and that starts off having solid leaves, and as it matures, the leaves start to get more interesting, and you start to get the perforations. This variety, all of the leaves, even the very young ones, have these incredible perforations, the fenestration. So, and it's a lot more compact, this one. It doesn't grow huge.
No, although this one will trail. I've got this one in my bathroom, on a cabinet in my bathroom, and by the end of each year, I mean, I cut it back, but in a year, it grows all the way down and trails all the way down the bathroom cabinet to the floor, and then when it gets too long, I just chop it off again, and it starts all over.
So does yours look as good as Stu's?
Oh. No, Stu's leaves are bigger than mine.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is it lovely though? I mean, again, you could get this to climb up a moss pole, but I think it looks better trailing.
Yeah, it looks beautiful trailing down. That's a gorgeous one, Stu. There, that's really. Look at the leaves. It looks really happy.
Well, that was from YouGarden. So that was. Those pictures were taken in July and he'd bought it last December, so about 7 months.
Yeah, I mean the leaves on mine are smaller, but I think because mine's in my bathroom in the corner, so it's not getting so much light. But these will take quite a lot of moisture as well, because when I actually bought this, it was growing in a fish bowl. And what they'd done is they'd put like a cork in the top of the fish bowl, and then the plant was just sitting through the hole in the middle of the cork, so the roots were all in the fish bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, and I bought it at the Chelsea Flower Show, and that's how they were growing it. So it will take quite a lot of moisture, but a really interesting plant. And again, another thing scientists say, the reason they've got holes in the leaves is so the plant can still let light through to the leaves below without crowding them out, because where they grow, again, they're growing quite low light levels. So it's a way that the plant can share light without crowding out its own lower leaves.
It is one of the most stunning houseplants. I've got it as well. Absolutely love it. And a lot of my friends, when they come around, say, "Oh, I love that houseplant. What is it?" It's called the Monstera monkey leaf, or monkey mask, as we learned today. And it is 800-159, and that is under tenner. We would love, I know a lot of you are into your outside gardening, but we'd love you just to try a houseplant from us today, wouldn't we? We really would.
Yeah.
And if you've already got lots, tell us what you've got in your collection. Do I name them? No.
No. Because
I've got too many. I've got 85.
Because
Adam, sorry, just quickly.
My other half bought me a plant one. It wasn't from YouGarden, I'll be honest. It was from another company, but this company names their plants. So I think I got an aspidistra called Henry or something, which is quite funny.
Right, just going back to the pet-friendly collection, because I think Neil bought this one. I was thinking of getting it. How big does the Boston fern get?
Well, it doesn't get much. It doesn't get tall. So I mean, it'll only get about this height, but it will get wide. So if you think of the width of an old-fashioned metal dustbin lid, that's the width ultimately it can get to. Yeah. And probably about 18 inches tall, sort of max, and then it won't get any wider than that. That's about as wide as it will get.
But I've got all of those plants actually, Neil, and I absolutely love them.
All I do with mine is very occasionally is, you can sometimes, if you want, is just when some of the lower leaves get a little bit sad looking, just grab the ones in the middle, like just bunch them up, and then just go around with scissors and cut all the old manky leaves off at the base, and then drop it down, and then you have just the nice fresh leaves again. But you need to do that once in a blue moon. Yeah, always regenerates from the centre.
But that is a great collection here, it really is. Right, going to go back to our compost. If you have just joined us, by the way, welcome to YouGarden Television. My name's Shaun Ryan. If you ever want to follow us on social media, by the way, you can always find me on Facebook and on Instagram. It's Shaun Ryan, presenter and plant man. So I love it when you interact with me, and you can find me on TikTok as well. And then Adam is also on social media.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you just put Adam Woolcott in at any of those, you'll find me there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same here. But I'd love you to get involved outside of the live shows as well. Now, our best-selling product every single week here at YouGarden, and we're a big nursery, we've got 11 acres of products and plants, is our premium professional compost, and it always gets fantastic reviews. It does.
Sometimes we ask Stu just to go to a random page, or a random review page, and every time we go to that random review page, it's just fabulous reviews all the time. And I've used this compost for years now. I've used it for years and years and years, ever since I used to work at Ideal World when we first sort of came across it then, and it just gives those remarkable results.
It does. And I mean, that's the pub garden in our village that I look after, and I literally bought about 12 bags recently. I did every single pot and container and hanging basket using this compost, and things are looking great. They really are. So it is a compost that we use on the nursery. Why have you just said 7, Adam?
Because Stu just asked me to choose a number from 2 to 10 for our reviews.
Ooh, okay. Let's look at page 7
for the compost.
But it is the compost that we use on the nursery for anything that we grow, pot on. This year we potted on and grew, I should say, 150,000 bare roots. But let's have a look at page 7 of the reviews. Are they any good?
Whoa, look at that. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star.
So yeah, Marilyn's just put very good use for seeds as well as transplanting. Good in pots everywhere. Been using this quite a few years now. David said, I've been using this for a couple of years. It's excellent. I will be buying more. Ron, buy every year. Not the cheapest, but the quality is superb. And Ron, I agree. You could find cheaper compost, but you buy cheap compost and the likelihood is your plants are not going to do very well. So that's kind of false economy. Julia's put, love this compost, bought it several times. Try it, you won't be disappointed. Thank you, Julie, and thank you to everyone else there. And just quickly, you think about this at home. We are a working commercial nursery, and this is compost that we use. If there was anything better, we would be using it. So this is why the actual bags, they're not branded, they don't have lots of marketing spiel on them.
What does Stu say?
Lots.
No, what does he say about the bags? The value's in the bag, not on the bag.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is true, isn't it? Yeah. That's true, isn't it?
I mean, I run a garden club, and there was a very interesting guy that came, and he used to work for a compost manufacturer. And he actually just said, you know what, these massive marketing teams, they think of all sorts of clever things to put on packets to entice you. Oh, it's got added seaweed. It's got the miracle of seaweed in it. But actually, when you look at the back and you see how much seaweed's in there, it's like, oh.
So you've got hyaluronic acid and all that kind of stuff.
That's skincare.
Polypeptides.
But there's a lot of marketing spiel to entice us to buy that particular compost. We don't need that. This is what we use on the nursery. This is what we grow everything in, and it is absolutely superb. And actually, just very quickly, we just read one of those 5-star reviews, and it said, not the cheapest, but the best. Okay, I agree, we're not the cheapest. However,
buy cheap, pay twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Buy plants twice, because your plants may die in a cheaper compost or not do very well. But actually, when you look at our value, $24.98. Most of you are club members. 45,000 of you are club members. So you always get this with your 10% discount. $22.48. But then we do give you a free gift as well. And that isn't just some useless free gift that you're never going to bother with. That will make 100 litres of our premium plant food, and that is worth a £5. So actually, if you take off the price of this, and we do sell it at $4.99, take that off your $22.48. Suddenly, you're getting this compost 100 litres for $17.50, delivered free.
Yeah.
So actually, that is pretty good value, isn't it?
I mean, if you take out the delivery side of it, you think you've got to drive all the way to the garden centre, using fuel to get there. It's your time. Sometimes this time of year, if the bags are outside, they're all wet. If it's been raining, you pick them up and all the water goes all down the front of you. You're gonna get all the car dirty again. You've just paid a fortune to have it all nicely valeted for Christmas because you want it all to be nice and smart inside. You don't be putting filthy, dirty bags of compost in there. Why not just have it delivered in a cardboard box straight to your house? No hassle, no problem. And if you don't need to use it straight away, you can just park it in the garage, put it in the shed. It will keep. It will last.
They're cooked in boxes, by the way. So you just stack it as well.
Stack it, and all our packaging is recyclable. We're very keen on making sure everything can be recycled and reused. So it's just a brilliant way of getting it.
And we'll just very quickly, because I know you may be new to YouGarden, and we'll just quickly run through what's in the compost. So 50% of it is composted wood fibre. That gives it this amazing texture. And Adam, sometimes if you buy cheaper compost, you'll open up the bag and there'll be lumps and chunks and twigs and things like that. The texture of this is so good. That means that all of those roots are going to find whatever they need easily, aren't they?
Well, if you imagine something like an orchid, for example, their seed can be microscopic. So you imagine a seed that's really, really tiny like that and it's trying to make its way in the world. This compost is brilliant because it can germinate in here. It can get its roots down into that compost. It lets the air get down to the roots as well, which is important. And it allows the water to percolate through as well. We've got a slow release fertiliser in here. It can feed your plants up to 6 months. We've got a wetting agent. So that means the compost, there's a little one just there.
There's loads.
Yeah. That means the compost wants to suck in the moisture. We've all experienced those hanging baskets or pots we've let dry out too much. You come home from work, everything's drooping, you go to water them, the compost runs straight off like water off a duck's back. This compost is much, much less likely to do that because it wants to suck in the moisture, it wants to hydrate those plants really, really quickly. So, and just my own personal experience, I mean, I've got 2 or 3 bags of this under the staging in my greenhouse right now because, when I do run out, I get really annoyed because I don't want to be out of it.
I mean, I'll never forget, I ran out, this quite a few years ago, I ran out and I went to a certain store and I had to buy some compost because in the middle of gardening I needed to get the job finished because I was going to be at work the next day, and I bumped into the head gardener from here as I had a different compost on the trolley.
Oh no.
I have never been so mortified and embarrassed, seriously. But I have tried other compost, they're never as good as this. And I'm just going to say, we have got 3 different types of peat in here: white peat, dark peat, sphagnum moss peat. That one is renewable. But ideally, you might think, but I want to be peat-free. We do peat-free compost. But I don't know about you, Adam, I still don't think the peat-free ones that I've tried are as good as this one.
No, I agree. They're not the same. I find sometimes with the non-peat-based compost, I know there'll be people shouting and screaming at us, you're still promoting peat, blah, 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 but I'm just telling you as I find it. I've found lots of the ones without any peat, they don't absorb and hold onto the moisture like a peat-based compost.
I did an experiment with tomatoes this year, planted some in peat-free, some in this, and the ones that were in the peat-free constantly dried out, and the tomatoes were not as good. And there is an argument, and again, we don't want to get too political, but actually when you look at peat-free, most peat-free composts have got a huge amount of coir in there, and coir is a byproduct of coconuts. And then you actually think, well, hang on, we don't grow coconuts in the UK, do we? So you've got to look at the transport of the coir over. It's complicated, and you've got to make your own decision.
It's never black and white, is it?
It's not. To
be honest.
But one thing we can say, it is an amazing compost. It is a stunning, outstanding compost, and we have reduced the quantity of the peat over the years to match it with environmental issues and needs. But it is a superb compost, and you can get your stay with free delivery as well, and your free gift. Right, it's our Black Friday event. Good morning. I'm just checking it is morning. It is morning. We are live until 12:30 today, but look, Adam and I, we want you to grab a bargain today because the Black Friday offers do finish on Tuesday. Many of them will not be here on Tuesday. And this table particularly is just ridiculous, isn't it?
It is ridiculous because there's not... You know, the thing is, with gardening, we've all been there, haven't we? It's a very tempting kind of thing, isn't it? Because you walk into garden centres and everything's laid out in a way that just makes you want to buy everything. And there's not many of us that can afford to buy everything.
No.
It's too expensive. But there come certain times when you can really fill your boots and not have to spend a fortune. And today, I feel with some of these plants...
Yeah. All of these are massive winners.
The example we gave earlier on of the four of the hairy lip fern, 4 of the copper shield fern, and the order came for just over £40, was it, or something? I mean, it was...
yeah, but that was with other things in it.
Yeah, that was with the free feed as well. And yeah, I mean, it was just remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal.
So if you're after ferns, today's the day to buy them. So the hairy lip fern, it's 1 for £5.99, but you can double it, get 2 for under £10. And this particular fern, Adam, it's got many uses because although we think of ferns in sort of like shady areas, damp areas, this one's a bit more versatile, isn't it?
Yeah, this one, I mean, this one will take a sunny position or as well as a shady position, so it's quite happy in both. And also, it's a fern that's happier being drier as well. I'm not saying, treat it mean and let it really dry out, but it's not going to show off if it's in a drier position than some other fern. So you can have it in a sunny position, you can have it in a shady position. It could be dry shade, because shade isn't always damp. Sometimes under a really thick canopy of foliage, under a tree, for example, it can be shady and dry. This one would be happy there. You might want a fern for a slightly sunnier position, like on a rockery or somewhere. And again, traditionally they're very dry and well drained. This fern, this hairy lip fern, will do very, very well in that kind of position.
Now, the double up deal, you need to put 2 in your basket, you'll get them for $9.99. Just use code YGTV4825 and you're going to get your free gift worth £5. But
I was just thinking, actually, we're hairy lip men, aren't we?
We are. Someone was saying that we're even going to shave your bit off. I said, I just don't know what's underneath it now. I might have three or 4 chins under here. I don't know, I don't know. I just don't do it, do you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, sometimes I grow mine long, grow mine not quite as long as yours, but I grow it longer, and then so often I trim it back and then I grow it again. But I could never not be without it now.
No, anyway, I hate shaving. So
yeah, I do. Yeah,
I really hate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress because we have got another fern for you. Right, this one I want every single one of you watching right now to get 2 of these. Because you get a buy one, get one free. You're going to get 2 for $6.99, and they are amazing. I mean, I've got several of these in my garden, and this one isn't. It's quite green at the moment, but when you get the new growth, it's that coppery colour. So springtime, you're going to get loads of that, aren't you?
Coppery, reddish kind of colour. So as the fronds or the croziers age, then they'll go to this sort of dark green, shiny colour. But then, as Shaun said, the new foliage in the spring comes through these really incredible bright colours. Who thought ferns were just green? They're not. They come in a lot of colours through the foliage. They don't flower, but you do get amazing foliage colour. Almost look metallic, those leaves, when they come through in the spring.
And what I can honestly say is they are brilliant just when you underplant shrubs and trees in your garden, just for stopping the weeds, filling in those gaps. I just don't like to see brown soil in my garden.
Do you know what? That's one thing I'll never have in my garden.
It is the same.
Yeah, I cannot stand that. I mean, I have to have every square inch of soil covered. I don't mind that up until about end of April, middle of May, because things are still maturing. But by the end of May, I don't want to see any soil at all. Yeah. Just foliage and flowers. And
Adam does have an amazing garden. Adam was very kind. He came with John to our garden club and did an amazing talk last month. And he showed us his journey of Chelsea and winning all those gold medals. It was brilliant, Adam. You're great, honestly.
You're a brilliant crowd, though. I mean, we've done about 30 or 40 of talks over the years, and I've never been to such an engaging, cheerful. I won't say the words you said in my head, but I think there was a smattering of wine going on.
We encourage people to bring some wine with them.
People there were lovely. We've done some, and we get there, and everybody's been really kind of
Yeah.
But we walked in there and the atmosphere was bubbly. It was lovely.
But Adam has got such great knowledge, and to have him on the show, sharing his knowledge and expertise with all of us is fantastic. But that fern, I can honestly say, filling in those gaps. I mean, lots of the Chelsea gardens this year had lots of grasses and ferns, didn't they?
Yeah, because ferns are just fantastic. Some ferns are evergreen, some ferns are deciduous, and some deciduous ferns, if it's a mild winter, will pretty much stay evergreen as well. All you need to do with ferns is, come the spring, whether they are deciduous or evergreen, just take off the old leaves, any damaged leaves. But when you do it, sort of do it probably late March to sort of first part of April, but just check when you take the old leaves off, you don't chop the top of the new leaves coming up at the bottom. They come up a little kind of curve shape. Don't damage those. Just take the old leaves away, and then you'll get those fantastic colours from this copper shield fern.
And they will do great in pots, so get yourself some pots to go with them. I would honestly buy several of those today, because at that price they are absolutely incredible. And for everyone that you buy, you get one free, don't forget. So if you buy two, you get two free, three free. But I love the fact that they're generally disease resistant, the slugs don't like them, they're easy.
Yeah, I can't do any diseases that affect ferns, to be honest.
No, I can't.
Ferns,
I've never had.
No.
And even things like, I've never noticed them getting attacked by, your white fly and green fly. I mean, I'm sure they can do, but they're not prone to disease, are they?
And I've not seen them being eaten by things like muntjac or rabbits, or even like that, to be honest. I can't swear to it, but I have a lot of customers who've had problems over the years with muntjac and rabbits and things like that, but ferns, generally, they leave them alone.
Grab those. Another really popular item, I'm really pleased about this, has been the Verbena bonariensis. One of my garden favourites. I only planted mine, I think, 2.5 years ago now. Planted 6 from YouGarden, and they now, I'm going to say, pretty much my favourite perennial. Somebody's just ordered 6 of these, so I've got 6 along that side now. That edge of my patio looked so harsh, and I just didn't know what to do with it. I thought, well, I don't want to lose the view, but at the same time, I don't want that harsh edge. So I planted 6 of these, and do you know what? I just love how it's softened that edge. Now, you might think, hang on, but I don't have a garden like yours, Shaun. What they do in any bed or border, they just add height, but without taking over. You can always see through them, can't you?
Look at the shadows as well. Look at those lovely shadows they cast on the patio. Sometimes they say a picture can speak, I know, I can't remember, it's 100, 1,000, whatever.
Isn't it?
Yeah, a picture speaks 1,000 words. There you go. I mean, just look at that.
I know.
You can just see there, it's doing what you want it to do. It's not obstructing the beyond. I mean, say, for instance, you put a whole line of delphiniums along there, or something like that, which would be stunning. That would really have obstructed the view, because they're quite thick, bushy plants, aren't they? But the Verbena, you can look through them, you can grow things underneath them. They don't out-compete the other plants around the base of them. They don't break or snap in the wind. I always
make the analogy of a West End show, and you've got the main performers, haven't you? They're leading roles. Then you've got the chorus. You take the chorus away, and suddenly the show's nothing like as good, is it? And I always think that Verbena, they are real chorus members, and they fill in the gaps and work with all the other plants and make everything look better.
And also they make a lot more plants because they seed about, so you get loads of seedlings from these, so you can very quickly build up a huge stock of these. Just another quick tip as well, we had the question earlier on about the Gora.
That's from Neil, yes, the Gora Sissicu.
And also the mallow. Treat Verbena in the same way. Don't cut Verbena down too far in the autumn. So when you do finally cut it down, just cut it down to where this one is. Don't be tempted to go right the way down to just 2 or 3 inches tall, because again, if we get a really severe winter, or wet winter, you might lose the plant. So only go down to about 6 inches. Wait until spring, and then you'll start to see those little new shoots come right from the base. Then you can cut back to those new shoots, and it'll all come back brilliantly for you.
I'll be honest, I've just left mine. I've not touched it.
You don't need to, because the seed heads look really nice in the winter time. When you get them covered in a hoarfrost or something like that, they're quite dramatic.
And because I got like about 100 babies last year from mine, I was like, right, I'm going to do it again, get more free plants.
The seed heads, strangely as well, for quite a long time, although it's not the actual flower, they still keep a bit of a purple kind of look to them, don't they?
They still look really nice.
Yeah,
so
which is unusual.
Months. I should have actually taken a picture of mine this morning. 560-925, saving £9. And a lot of you are buying multiples of those. Somebody bought 6. just recently. Don't blame you at all. And just try, if you can, get your order to over £40. You will get free postage. But if you can't, we do cap the postage at $6.99 per order. Now, our bulb collection, we've sold thousands and thousands of these, and they are now down to $11.99 for 300 bulbs, Adam. Wow.
Crazy,
Isn't it?
It is, yeah. And this is, I have a little bit of a phrase sometimes. When you get collections of things, I sometimes say some companies create what I call lazy collections. They just put really basic, quite naff, unusual, not very unusual bulbs in. Goodness me, look at this selection. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. The little Iphion down at the bottom here, for example, not just blue, but you've got these in three different colours. You've got the pink, you've got the white and the blue, which is really, really gorgeous. And all the way up to the top with the
Pterocephalons.
Yeah, I can't say that.
Drumstick.
Yeah, the drumstick.
I found that hard as well. I've got to get my teeth in.
Which will flower for you right the way up until August, even. So you've got the crocuses in the middle there that will begin flowering in February. So you've got a selection here that could give you colour over sort of 5 to 6 months.
I mean, just amazing. They all arrive in a big bag, but separately bagged as well. And they're going to give you colour, as Adam was saying, from kind of like February time with your crocus, right the way through to July with your Spherocephalons or allium drumsticks. So, is it too late to plant bulbs?
No, definitely not. If the bulbs are firm, if the bulbs don't smell mouldy or musty or anything like that, you can still put the bulbs in. They'll be absolutely fine. All it means is they will flower slightly later than tradition they would have flowered, but then the following year they'll fall back into sequence and they'll flower the same as all the other bulbs.
Okay. But a lovely selection. Looking at the mascara, the grey hyacinths, you just saw the caniculatus, those little mini daffodils, the spherocephalons that we saw, the Iphiums that we're looking there right now, crocus bulbs.
Well, this is a really, really thought through, nice collection, because, as I say, sometimes you see in the back of magazines or newspapers or whatever, you see these bulb collections, and it won't be a really nice selection of bulbs. It'll be sort of quite basic sort of bulbs, and I don't like that. No. This is such a lovely, unusual collection.
And I mean, I always plant my bulbs November and December. Sometimes, if I'm organised, I'll plant some in October, but most of my bulb planting happens now. Just quickly, the copper shield fern is going absolutely crazy. Well done at home. Multi-order those. Think about all those gaps in your garden, those shady areas. Think about underplanting. Think about pots as well. But it is a buy one, get one free. And can we ask as well, just to let your friends know about this show. You know, if you've got any friends that are into gardening, we're here every Sunday from 9:30 rather to 12:30, and then on a Thursday we're here 10 till 1. So it's 6 hours. But you can always watch the shows on catch up. You can stream them later on YouTube. You can stream them on our YouGarden website, of course, as well.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, and funny, this offer, the way this offer's kind of created a bit of a frenzy, reminds me. Didn't we do a show back in the summer and there was like a collection of 6 fuchsias or something we had?
Yes,
we had some
£20.
Yeah, some mad offer there. Yeah. It was, I remember that kind of. Yeah, it created the same kind of sort of storm of interest.
I think it was 6 for a tenner.
Yeah, it was. It was a really crazy. I think, and Stu said almost everybody who ordered fuchsias with their main order.
Are most people going for the fern today, Stu? I bet they are. Yeah, really, really popular.
Doesn't surprise me.
But to be honest, loads of great offers for our Black Friday events. Now, I actually consulted Adam when me and my other half we bought a house, knocked it down, rebuilt it, not ourselves, but we managed the whole project. It was an absolute nightmare, but it was difficult. But I do remember asking Adam advice on hedging, because I hadn't really ever planted hedging. And I've planted several different types of hedging, and they look fantastic. But I have to say, I never, the different hedging I've got beech, I've got, what's it called, Adam?
I'm trying, not euonymus. No. You haven't got the
Portuguese laurel.
That's it.
Portuguese laurel.
Yeah.
So different hedges and a variety of bare roots and potted. If I'd have seen this, I would have jumped at it, because this is actually hornbeam. And you're getting 1, 2, 3 of these. Let me give you the price of these, because they're in pots. They're really big. I would expect 3 of these for like £25 maybe, Adam, 30?
Yeah,
10 of each.
I'd say £30. £30 would be reasonable.
You're going to get 3 today for £12.49. Now, I know some of you will have to do some measuring and think, right, if you're maybe thinking of planting a hedge, how many of these will you need? So, you know, maybe do some measuring, plan things in your head, but then come back and order. But to get these at like club members, $11.24 is just ridiculous. So I've never grown hornbeam. I chose beech for the back of my garden,
which is fantastic.
But these are quite similar to beech in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes at work, I've occasionally, you know, when I've done a sort of a cursory kind of glimpse, I've kind of confused beech for hornbeam, but I slightly prefer hornbeam because it has slightly more ornate leaves. The leaves are just slightly, sort of, in my opinion, slightly nicer than. Look at that. I mean, when they come out in the spring. They are beautiful, aren't they? I mean, the contrasting colour there. And Carpinus betulus it's one of our native trees. You know, it's native to the UK, so it's going to grow fantastically well. You're not going to have any problems with it.
And doesn't look out of place ever either.
Doesn't look out of place anywhere. Pretty much disease-free. I've never really come across any problems with beech hedges. With hornbeam hedges. Occasionally you get a little bit of whitefly, but you know what? They deal with that. That's not an issue. They're bone hardy, really, really tough. They make a lovely dense hedge. You can just clip it a couple of times a year. And it makes quite a decent hedge in not too long a period of time as well.
So Adam, in terms of, because some of you may be thinking, right, yeah, I'm going to do a whole hedge of this. What spacing advice would you give?
I mean, pretty much, I would say, as these are spaced, in fact, if you space it out just a little bit more, I would say that's the kind of spacing you would want to put these in. So about 18 inches or so apart would be all you'd need for these, because you know these will fill out. You can sometimes, if you want.
Go on. I think I'm reading your mind here.
You could, if you want, sort of do a double staggered row. If you want to. Yeah. So what you would do then, you should have a single row like this. Then you plant a row opposite, but you plant those
in the gaps.
Opposite gaps. Yeah. So you've got a double staggered hedge.
And that's if you want a thicker.
Yeah, a thicker hedge. But to be honest, these are quite mature plants. So I think you get away with just a single line of these. And what you can do once you planted them as well, some of the sort of the more wiry ones, you can just trim back a little bit. So once it's in, it's pretty much in a line. And don't be worried about even trimming these back a little bit as well, because in the early stages, the more you kind of trim a plant like this back, the denser it will be to start with.
And a bit like a beech hedge, this does keep its leaves in the winter. Obviously the leaves go brown, but it does hold on to them, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's something called marcescence, and I think which means sort of partly ceasing. So things like beech, that's it. Yeah, offset hedge or sort of staggered hedge planting, you can see there. So, you can go for a single row if you wanted to, or you can do the double row and stagger them like Stu's showed you there.
I did do a quick search online, and the price we have got is ridiculous. And I know some of you, you might be in a new build, maybe you've got children that are in a new home and they want to plant a hedge, because hedges do give you obviously that privacy as well. I planted hedges to help with the wind in where I live, but a nice hedge can make such a difference to a garden, can't it?
Oh, brilliant!
And a hornbeam is beautiful.
And a hedge is so much better than a fence. A hedge is a living thing. It's absorbing carbon. It's producing oxygen. It's giving habitats for plants. It's creating organic matter for the leaves that fall down on the ground. It just looks amazing. It looks beautiful. But yeah, these plants are brilliant. And these are so mature because these are not like what we call whips or feathers. Which, I mean, whips literally you can buy this time of year literally just like a little thin single stem. Or you can buy feathers, which are a single stem with a few side shoots. These are beyond that. More mature.
If you are interested in buying this and planting a hedge, just while we're here live until 12:30, it's really worth just sending us a few questions. If you're trying to work out, how many you need, or you've got any say things you need to know, just chat to us on YouTube. You can email us, of course, ygtv@yougarden.com. So if you do want to buy these and plant a hedge and you need any extra advice, you can drop us a little message now, ygtv@yougarden.com.
And what I'll do with these, just very quickly before we move on, you can see that one's facing that way. These are facing out. So if I was going to plant them in the garden, I'd turn that one like that, and I'll turn that one like that, and then automatically they're all facing the same way, and they're all already starting to kind of knit into each other a little bit as well.
Now we've also got in our Black Friday event right now, just going to move the hornbeam, we have got a stunning Sambucus. I say stunning, you might be going, hang on, is that your idea of stunning, Shaun? This will be stunning in spring and summer. It's lost its leaves right now, but we want to give you an idea of what this is going to look like in your garden next year when it bursts back into leaf, because this is what the Sambucus look like in August. Hello there, this is the Sambucus Sutherland Gold, and I mean, it just looks magnificent right now on the nursery. I've got Sambucus in my garden. I chose them because they're relatively quick to grow. They're very easy, actually, and this one does have the RHS Award of Garden Merit as well. Now, it reminds me a little bit of an Acer, and it's nothing to do with the Acer family. In fact, it's part of the elderflower family. But because of the serrated foliage, I don't know, it just always reminds me a little bit of Acers, but nothing like them. This is something that will do very nicely in a part shady position. Doesn't mind a little bit of wind, anything like that. It is fully winter hard. It's about -10. And on top of the gorgeous foliage that you'll get with the Sambucus, you also get little flowers, you get berries as well. It loses its leaves in the winter, but as I say, winter hardy to -10, and then it comes back every year. And it is really quite fast growing. And this at full height can be up to about 4 metres as well. So yeah, an absolutely gorgeous plant. Arrives in that big 3-litre pot and will give you wonderful foliage throughout the summer, and the flowers and the berries as well. Oh, now just give you the details, if I can, of the Sambucus Sutherland Gold, because it's only $6.99 today. It's actually better than half price. I mean, I've got various Sambucus in my garden, Adam, and I do find they do grow quickly.
They do grow quickly. They flower. They have lovely white heads of flower.
And you get the berries, don't you?
You get the berries as well, which is great. And this is just a relative of the Sambucus nigra that grows in the countryside in the spring. What you can do with these, and what I would do with this as well, you can prune these back quite harshly in the spring. So this one, for example, I'd get my secateurs in the spring, and I would literally just go above those buds like that, which looks a bit severe, but then those will all shoot out.
And it really bush out, won't it?
Yeah, and that will give you a much more of a bushy plant. So don't be scared of pruning that back in the spring. You'll actually benefit it. I mean, you can treat, or you can let it just grow into a large shrub if you prefer.
Do you find that the Southern Gold is as vigorous as the Niagara, Adam?
It's not quite as vigorous, I wouldn't say. I mean, it will grow a good sort of 2 or 3 feet in a year. And it does have the most fabulous, bright, cheery coloured foliage. The foliage is gorgeous.
But you imagine that. I mean, Adam just said it can grow 2 or 3 feet in a year. That's a metre in a year. So it is. I mean, it's still really vigorous.
Could grow even more. You know, if it's you know, quite a wet summer, because they like quite a moist kind of situation. But they're a tough plant. They're a hardy plant. You can let it grow into a larger shrub, or you can do what I've just done there. I'm not going to do it on this one, but you could even go. You know, you could go down even further if you wanted to. Yeah. But do that late winter, early spring.
So I've got several of these in my garden because I wanted certain things to establish quickly, and they've been absolutely brilliant. I mean, I love Sambucus. I really do.
Sambucus are good. They're not a shrub you've got to wait years and years for it in the first year. I mean, this one, the pruning I've done on here, if we brought this back into the studio this time next year, I wouldn't be surprised to see it growing up to there already, you know, easily.
So honestly, a fantastic, fast-growing shrub that has the most beautiful foliage, and as Adam said, you get the flowers, you get the berries as well. Dies back, I say dies back, loses its leaves in winter, but every summer it is quite magical. Loads of you watching. Just quickly, by the way, it's our Black Friday event. Lots of orders coming in today. We are doing free delivery when you spend over £40. I know a lot of you know that already, but you've got to use that code YGTV4824. Always use the code. Your free gift today with every single order is our Blooming Fast. That makes 100 litres of premium plant food. Adam's favourite because it's soluble, but that is full of everything that your plants could possibly need, isn't it?
It's got all the trace elements. I mean, if I look on the back here, for example, I haven't got my glasses on, but I can see straight away it's got things like boron, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, zinc, all those things. When we take multivitamins as humans, you'll see those in your multivitamins. Some of these are in microscopic quantities, but if they're missing, can make a huge difference to the health of your plant. So, you know, dissolve this, And also you can use this as a foliar feed as well if you want to. So you can spray it right straight onto the foliage of plants.
Yeah, I always forget to do that.
Yeah, and the plants will absorb it through the leaf. Do that on a cool sort of damp day. Don't do it in full sun. But yeah, you can foliar feed, which people forget to do sometimes.
And Adam, I know some of our regulars, they may already have 2 or 3 packets of these, but it will keep. Won't
this will keep for years. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, I mean this is an airtight bag, so nothing's going to happen to this.
I mean, I ended up last year. So this year, actually, in my greenhouse at one point I had about 12 of these.
Yeah, just use it as and when you want to. Bex has a nice little tip on this sometimes. She says just pour a whole bag of it into your water butt.
Then you've got instant feed.
Yeah.
Great for houseplants as well. So that is your free gift with every order today. Just use the code YGTV4824. That opens up all of the offers. And it's been lovely. We've had a lot of you watching today on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course on the YouGarden website. I feel like we need a drum roll, Adam, because this is $6.99. I know, lots for words, because it is a massive, massive Cordyline, and it's a beauty, isn't it?
Look at it. I was well put it on its side so you can see into it. I mean, isn't that stunning? I mean, that is
amazing.
That is spectacular. I can remember the days when Cordylines first came and they were sort of a dark green colour, a bit of a boring dark green colour, or they were red. Now they come in such a range of colours, and the variegation is just absolutely spectacular on this. This is a real decent sized plant. That's going to make it's an out of the box in the garden instant impact plant, this one, isn't it? Because of the size of it, the colour of it. We even put it in some of our containers earlier on, the lovely big the medley. They might have all gone now, but I know there's only a few left.
Or the pine cone.
Look at that. How gorgeous is that looking? That looks phenomenal in there, doesn't it? Really beautiful.
So, again, a lot of the Black Friday offers will finish on Tuesday. If you want to get that at $6.99, it's normally £20. I would go for a pair, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think a pair would be absolutely lovely with these, because either side of a front door, if you've got some steps going up to an upper part of the garden, either side of the steps, 2 of these. I mean, it's weird because when we talk about planting naturally in the garden, we always say 3s, don't we, or 5s or 7s, but sometimes 2 as a bookend kind of thing works perfectly, doesn't it?
That is one of the best buys I've ever seen. I've worked with YouGarden for like probably 21 years now.
$24.99, I can see that for in some garden centres. $29.99 even.
I could.
Easily.
And people would pay that, particularly in summer when you just try, you've got your barbecue planned and you think, I need to just revamp the garden. You could easily walk into garden centre and pay £30 for Cordyline that's that big and that beautiful. $6.99 today. And we do, I'm just going to check with Stu, but I'm 99.9% sure this has got the little winter hardy badge with it on our website as well. We'll just double check for you, because basically if you look on our website, if any plant has, it's like a snowflake symbol. Yeah, it has. I thought it did. There you go. So that means it is backed by a lifetime guarantee. So if anything happens to this in its lifetime, let us know. We would replace it free of charge. All you would pay is the postage. But yeah, it's got that. I thought it did, that little symbol there. Right, Adam, we urgently need to go back to the ferns, because they've been selling ridiculously well today.
But what's really nice about these ferns is we do these shows in real time. It is the 1st of December, but look, 1st of December, these haven't been kept in anywhere.
These are from outside.
Outside, yeah.
Still, we're going to start with the Copperfield, if that's
magnificent
okay.
now, aren't they?
I bet this is the most popular. Yeah.
Let's tilt this one forward again, because I love it when you tilt forward and you can see into the foliage. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that lustrous green foliage there. And that's its mature foliage. In the earlier part of the year, when the new foliage comes out, it's that fabulous sort of copper colour. There's oranges and reds and russets and all sorts of colours in there. It's a fern that sort of just transforms as it matures. Likes shade, likes quite moist positions. Look at that new growth. Wow, who thought? I've heard people say, I don't like ferns, they're really boring, they're just green. Just green, I don't like them. They're not. Ferns can be so many different colours, so many different leaf shapes, so many different heights, and growing so many different positions and places.
And Adam, I don't know whether you told me this or whether I read it, but somewhere I read that 70% of your garden should be low maintenance.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. It should be.
I mean, we both love gardening. Gardening is not just our hobby, but it's our work, it's our profession. But I know in my own garden, if it's all too fiddly, it becomes a
chore.
It does, a bit of a labour of love.
Yeah.
But ferns fill in those gaps. They stop the weeds. They need very little care and attention, but they look beautiful all year round. So to me, ferns make so much sense, and the slugs don't like them. They're disease resistant. They're millions of years old.
Yeah, they don't attract the pests. That's the thing. They need minimum attention. That is the thing. They're not prima donnas. You don't have to fuss about them or mither about them. They just get on with what they need to be doing.
To me, and I was lucky enough, I went to Chelsea this year, and a lot of people called the Chelsea Flower Show the Chelsea Foliage Show, because many of the gardens did feature a lot of greeny grasses and ferns. So they are really on trend as well. But I think in our particular climate now, because we do get wetter seasons, don't we?
Well,
ferns just love it.
They do, but you just don't know anymore, do you? I mean, summer 2022 was really, really super dry and hot, wasn't it? And this summer has just been crazy, crazy wet. But I know one thing for sure, the fact that ferns were pretty much the next plants on the planet up from mosses and liverworts. I think whatever the planet throws them, they're going to survive, aren't they? They've been here this long. I think they're going to outsee us, to be honest.
They are true survivors.
In the long term.
But just imagine, I know you're all bargain hunting. It's Black Friday, say weekend here at YouGarden. Buy one, get one free. It works out $3.50 a fern. Club members, $6.29 for two of those. It works out £3.15
for a 2 litre fern.
And I bought, and this is a couple of years ago, I bought a fern from a garden centre once, and it was £30, and it was this variety. It was probably twice that size, but it was £30. And I bought it because it was actually on offer. That is working out £3.15 for club members. The other one we've got is the hairy lip fern.
Yeah, and this one is a bit of an outlier, really, because this is slightly different in the fact that this fern will actually grow in sunnier position, or it will grow in shade, and it'll actually grow in a drier position. So whereas most ferns we say shady, damp, moist, this one...
So I'm thinking, Adam, if you've got like a big tree, I've got a big eucalyptus tree, and it's really hard to get things to grow underneath, that fern would be one of the better ones,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
That would be much more suited, because sometimes when we think of shade, we always think of shade being damp, but of course it isn't always damp, because under a really evergreen tree, for example, like a eucalyptus or a holly tree or a pine tree, it can be dry, and shady. This will cope with those kind of conditions. One caveat is when we talk about all these kind of things, that's once these plants are established. That's important. Once you get them established, then they'll be fine. But this, again, I mean, this is an evergreen one as well. So this looks pretty much, good all the way through the winter, and then you can just trim those old leaves off come the spring. But yeah, both of these ferns are absolutely stunning, really, really gorgeous. If you want a fern for a sunnier, drier position, or you want another type of fern for a shadier, more moist position, well, you've got them here with the copper fern or the hairy lip fern. And
again, that one is a double up deal, so you can buy one for $5.99, but if you put two in your basket, you get both for just $9.99. Works out just about £5 each for those. Something that also is a real... What have I just trod on? Oh, it's fine.
It's only a pack of bulbs.
It was only your lunch hour. No, it wasn't. We've got a really unusual callistemon for you now. These are often known as the bottle brush plant. And I've seen the pink ones, I've seen the red ones. This one is it's really unusual, like a goldy, creamy colour, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, because I will never come on a show and say, oh, yeah, I've seen that. If I haven't, and I haven't seen that. This is new to me.
It's nice to know, because I thought it was rare, but the fact that you've not seen it either.
It doesn't surprise me, because I follow various people on social media, growers and stuff like that, and every week they're bringing in new plants, things that you never thought could be possible. We were saying earlier on, who ever thought delphiniums could be pink or red? Ever thought busy lizzies could be yellow? But here we go. We've got a callistemon now that's got this limey green yellow kind of flower, loved by the bees, called honey pot, because it's probably smothered in nectar and pollen on all those lovely stamens there all over it. Really different, really unusual, an evergreen plant as well, so it looks good all the year through. And some of them, I'm just going to test it on this one, some of them do have fragrant foliage, but let's just see if this one does.
I don't think unless it's my sense of smell.
It does have a little bit of a...
Not quite.
It does.
Okay, hang on.
It's not as pungent as some of them, but... That's just...
No, it's better than I thought actually, Adam.
Yeah, you've got to go some to...
Yeah, it's not quite as fragrant as some of those, but it's actually really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a little bit, sort of bit menthol, isn't it? A bit of a mentholy kind of sort of scent to it. And that was something I learned, because that's the thing about gardening, quite often it's from experience. I remember that once I actually trimmed a callistemma with a hedge trimmer, which seemed pretty brutal, but it was really big.
Right.
And I trimmed the hedge trimmer, it was like, whoa, what's that lovely fragrance? And it was the foliage. But yeah, it was a garden that had really got out of control, and but it came back beautifully, to be fair.
Now we do say hard. It's about what, -4, I say.
Yeah, -4 or so.
But so I would, because it's a small plant. I'd keep an eye on it this winter, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean that plant there, I would keep that in that pot as it is. And then plant it out in the spring. So if the weather does turn really cold, you can just bring it in somewhere and just keep it out the worst of the weather. But it's like a lot of things. Once the bigger they get, the more mature they get, the hardier they get, the tougher they get. All our callistemma ask of you is plant me in the most ridiculously hot, sunny, well-drained position possible.
They want it baked, don't they?
And they really don't mind really poor soil. Put them in a really rich soil, they'll hate you. Put them in a really poor soil, they'll love you.
Isn't that amazing? I love the way plants are all so different, don't you? You know, that one just loves being in poor soil, baking in the sun.
They originate from Australia, so they kind of used to those really dry, sandy, kind of gravelly sort of soils. That's where they grow naturally. So
I don't know if you tell me this, Adam, but if there's ever like a bushfire in Australia, and all of these, you know, sadly get burnt to the ground, they're one of the first to come back, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they regenerate really quickly.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Along with things like proteas and things like that, you know, they come. In fact, some of those plants actually need fire to cause the seed pods to burst open and release their seed. So
there's always stuff to learn with plants. Anyway, we are rapidly running out of time. I don't know where this morning's gone. Let's just remind you of some of the absolute favourites. We've just heard some of the houseplants are doing really well as well. I'm going to.
Is there one with the codium in the pack, a 6-pack?
I want to say pet-friendly ones. Go on, which one? The jade. Yes. Well, this is only $4.99. So this is known as Crashula avata, but people know it as the money plant or the jade plant, and there's many sort of like beliefs with this one. So a lot of people believe it brings prosperity and wealth. It's known as a jade plant because the leaves are actually jade in colour. But also, this is a brilliant one. If you've got a really sunny window, south-facing, this can bake in sunshine, but also it's very drought tolerant with it being a type of succulent. So you can forget to water that for weeks, if not months, and it would be fine. Occasionally, these do flower, and they produce little like pink star-shaped flowers. But it's a lovely plant. Give it a go today. It's only $4.99, 800-242. That's been a very popular houseplant. Then going back outside, we've got the Verbena bonariensis. You've absolutely loved this one as well. You're going to get a big Verbena for just $3.99. So I've got 6 in my garden, got a lot more now actually because they've self-seeded, but I love the fact that they're known as a transparent plant. You can always see through them. They don't overcrowd. They just kind of really enhance other plants in your garden. And very easy to grow, nice sunny spot, 560-925. Then we brought you one of the fastest growing plants that you could actually put in your garden, and it's a sambucus. This one is known as Southern Gold. Again, nice and easy, not difficult to grow. Prune it back in springtime if you need to, and then it'll really, you can even get this to grow 1 metre or more in a single season. You get lovely golden foliage, but you also get white little flowers, and you get the berries as well. But that's a real favourite of mine, 501-494. Really good value. That's normally nearly £15. It's $6.99 today. Loads of Black Friday deals. Then we've got our hydrangea. Now this one is the Magical Matterhorn. It's under £10. You've got beautiful paniculatas. So these gorgeous kind of cone-shaped flowers that can be huge. And they actually change colour, these. So depending on the age of the flower, sometimes they may be more white, cream, sometimes they'll be a little bit green. You may even see hints of a light pink in certain lights as well. And as Adam was saying, you don't need to worry about pruning with that one. You can prune it right back, but it flowers on the new growth. 501-551. Then we've got our digitalis, the Dalmatian mix. I know this is as a foxglove, and it gives you that lovely kind of country cottage look. These often self-seed as well, or produce little babies. So once you have foxgloves in your garden, you normally have them for many, many years. But it's a lovely variety known as Dalmatian because of the spots on the centre of each of the flowers. 511553. And that is down from £12.99. Black Friday deals, that is now £3.99 today. And then the top seller, and I'm not surprised, I mean, this is just ridiculous. We have got the huge copper shield fern. And this is the fern that changes colour, so the new growth is copper. Dryopteris ethrosaura is the big name, but it's a bit of a mouthful, so lots of people call it copper shield because of the copper colours. Generally speaking, it's evergreen. I mean, if it's really cold, it may lose a few of its fronds, but fully winter hardy, and just in terms of value, amazing today. So it's down, I mean, two of those would normally be £26. Today, you're going to get two for £6.99 or £6.29 for club members, 561201. Now, a lot of you buying plants today, so you may need some pots to put them in, some new pots. And you've just got the kikis out here.
Yeah, beautiful, aren't they? I love these. I mean, look at the detail as well, and I like that distressed kind of look as well.
It's like a chalky look, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is quite clever because sometimes when you move terracotta potters, when you move terracotta pots around, you sometimes do get that like little bit of scraping sometimes, don't you, where they sort of move against each other. They get that sort of natural sort of markation to them. So yeah, they just look so realistic. They're absolutely fantastic. But of course they're UV stable, they're frost resistant. These are really, really strong as well. And I've actually popped this little crasula in there as well, because you could use these pots indoors, providing you, because they've got drainage holes, you need a saucer to put underneath. But yeah, that would look great in there as well.
But say, as long as you use the code YGTV4824, it's a buy one, get two free. I really like them as well, Adam. I think they're really attractive.
Yeah, and they're just that right size for changing or augmenting the look of outdoor displays with bigger pots, because you can just put these in between, move them around, change the planting a couple of times a year.
I tell you what, Adam, I do think the callistemon could look quite nice there, don't you?
Yeah, because that'd be quite happy.
I mean, I know it'd only be there for about a year, 2 years.
You could probably, a couple of 2 or 3 years, that'd be fine in there, and then eventually when it gets pot bound, you could just transplant it outside. But yeah, that looks really dinky in there, actually. I like that.
So
nice
that's a buy one, get one free. Right, the medley, we've literally got 4 pots remaining. That's it, 4 of these. So if you want the medley, you need to order it now. It's buy one, get one free, £49. We've only got 4 pots, so that's enough for 2 orders, basically.
Beautiful, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the work and the thought that's gone into that. And again, that nice sort of burnished look there as well. It's sort of the little detail that people think about, because everything always wears on the corner, doesn't it?
Yes.
Where people brush past or walk past. So that gives it that really authentic kind of age look to it as well. And then you've got that almost sort of Victorian type of like decoration on the side there with those sort of flowers.
They're fantastic, aren't
Beautiful, aren't they? Look at
they really are.
Yeah, the way they catch the light as well, which is nice. And even the little sort of horizontal lines along the base there, just adding a little bit more interest to those. And I'll tell you what I'll probably try and do in the garden. I like the way they actually contrast with the kiki ones as well. If you was going to have a little plant collection outside, it's quite nice having the sort of contrasting pot colours.
I sometimes think that random pots grouped together just somehow works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can sometimes go for all of the same and do something really stylish, but sometimes just lots of different pots grouped together with different plants.
Yeah, round against square, tall against short, you know, dark colours against light colours, plain against decorative.
Right, 4 pots remaining. Obviously, they're not coming back either. We don't think we're going to be able to get the middle ones back. 130129. Just quickly, by the way, don't forget, we also brought you Strolch, which is a brilliant product with fantastic 5-star reviews, and it reduces weed growth, maintains moisture, brilliant for getting slugs and snails to keep away from your prized plants. But again, you are going to get a twin pack today, normally $52.97 for $36.97. Club discount price, $33.27 with no postage to pay. And if you do need any of our decorative bark mulch, we've also got this available today at a reduced price of $14.99. That's what it looks like. Obviously, you get a big bag of it, 70 litres, but so many uses.
I love that stuff. We use it a lot of work. We've done a lot of planting schemes recently, and we just put a huge layer of bark mulch down in between. It's keeping the moisture in, it's keeping the weeds at bay, it highlights the plants, stops the frost and stuff getting down to the roots and damaging the roots, and I can walk between all the plants this time of year and not end up with muddy boots.
I know. And that is a problem, isn't it? And there's nothing worse than getting mud on your boots than getting it all around your patio. No postage on that one either, and that is 100,061 for the ornamental spruce bark mulch. But we are nearly out of time, so if you want to see more of us, then we are on TikTok. It's so easy. Download the app, and we do different deals on TikTok. So it's different deals. Just look for YouGarden, and we will be live on TikTok from about 1:30 till 3:30, generally speaking. We have to do little giveaways as well, don't we?
You have a little competition, don't we?
Yeah. So we've got, and it's mostly houseplants this afternoon because we're going to be in the big greenhouse. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm quite like the idea of buying a few more houseplants, we can show you. Well, we've got hundreds in there a little bit later on, from 1:30 till 3:30. But the best seller, and I'm not surprised at all, has been the Copper Shield Fern. Today, it is a buy one get one free, and it's down to $6.99. So just ridiculous value, but beautiful fern.
Yeah, I mean, that fern is absolutely stunning. I mean, even now on the 1st of December, it looks glorious. It's got its mature foliage, but then in the spring, when the new leaves or croziers come through, they've got that incredible colour to them, the sort of reds, the oranges, the russets, the rust kind of colours, and then the leaves gradually turn to this lovely glossy colour. This is a good fern for shade, a good fern for moist soils. It's a hardy fern. It will come up year after year after year. It will gradually form a bigger clump. Eventually it can get to sort of about 70 to 80 centimetres tall. Yeah, just a stunning fern.
Well, we are set out to Adam. It's been an absolute joy.
Thanks, Shaun. Enjoyed it. It was good.
We always learn loads with Adam.
Excuse the cold hands. I've got really cold hands. But...
I'll let you off. Thank you to all of you lovely people. Adam, I've really enjoyed your company.
And
thanks for all the
Shaun.
messages.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Don't forget, use the code YGTV4824. You get your free gift with every single order and all of those amazing promotions. We're back live on YGTV on Thursday, 10 to 1, and live on TikTok this afternoon. So hopefully we'll see you again in 1 hour's time. Take care.